Hello, everyone. We are starting our second QAHub digital conference, Cutting Edge Technologies. And let me introduce our conference. Today, we'll have a lot of topics related to new technologies, our ChatGPT, AI, everything that now on top of our discussions, of our news, and our speakers will tell how it will change our life. And also, we will have our gift from QAHub. Please scan this QR code, follow us on Instagram, post a photo where you're listening us, and tag us. Closed friend sharing is excluded. Posts are accepted till the end of conference. Our conference will finish 7:30 UTC plus 6. And your profile should be public when we will check it. Also, what gift you will receive? You will receive 5 coins for 3 places. 5 coins of QAHub. It means that after you will change it for some prizes from us. And also for participation, you will own one QAHub coin. And I will show also our partners, communities that with us. It's Global Testing Community, QA Community, QAHub Armenia. I will send link in the chat, Business Analysis Community, and NGX Community. And let's get it started. Okay, now I am giving word to Alexey and sharing his presentation. And hello, Alexey. Please open your presentation.
Hello. Thank you, Arina. I hope, can you see my screen, by the way? Just checking.
Can you please share
Yes.
your presentation? Yeah, we see it.
Yeah. So, okay, let's start it. So my presentation is required some interaction from the audience. So let's try it first. On a simple question and look if you are able to provide some feedback to me from our audience. So please take your phones and try to vote on this trying to vote on this quiz. Let me try by myself. So at least. Oh, okay. We have 25 more people to join. That's nice. Your feedback will be very useful on the next slides. So don't remove your phones too far from you. Okay. Let me talk. First of all, let me introduce myself. This is me 10 years ago. And again, 10 years ago, I was offered to become a manager and to lead a test automation practice in St. Petersburg. So I agreed. And now, since St. Petersburg office is no longer exist, we try to do the same work in Turkey. The part of my work, a part of staffing, practice development, training people, keeping them on the edge of the technologies, is a development of tools, of useful tools that accumulates our working experience, and that makes our life of our engineers easier. We call it accelerators. So one of those accelerators that named Judean. This is the topic of my story. The idea of Judean is quite simple. So once you want to do the test automation, before writing the test, you have to create something that we call test automation framework. It's a set of libraries joined together in one project that provides you an API to work with the pages of your web applications. The part of this test automation framework is a set of classes that are called page objects. Each page objects accumulate some methods to work with exact page. To create this page object, to create every page object, you have to identify necessary page, define locators that helps you to find this element on the page. In some cases, you'd better to make it robust and short, easy to read, and of course you have to identify the type of the element. So this is time-consuming and not very intellectual work. So once we got some useful machine learning libraries, we very soon come up with the idea that why can't we ask machine learning to look on the page and make page objects for us. So and we try to do so. So we created a plugin that that parse a page and create page object for you. Let me show how it works. I hope you will see that. So imagine that you have a page that you have to create a page object. It has some fields, some buttons, or something. Just simply open our plugin, define some options, and let the plugin work. As you can see, system identified elements on the page. Now, moreover, for every elements, it replace and calculate full XPath locator and replace it with robust and short locator using algorithm called Robula Plus. We found a scientific article where it shows that this algorithm is the best among others. So you just select necessary elements, add them to the page object, and here it is. Now you have a page object created. So you can create all of those page objects for all necessary pages, and then simply press one button and get the entire test framework project downloaded. Now you can open it or in IDEA or other IDE and just start writing tests. The result of the plugin work could be found here, and it looks very simple. So for the page object, system creates a simple Java class with the necessary elements you select. Okay, so making the software is always a question of compromise and a question of choice. So when you develop the software, you always have to make some decisions that later could be very hard to change. So let's check if let me give you a chance to be in my shoes and check if you are able to make the right decision as I did, or wrong as I did. So let's start from the simple question. What test automation engineers prefer more, CSS selectors or XPath locators? Please vote not about your favorites ones. Please vote as you think the entire majority of engineers prefer. While you're making your votes, I just want to remind you that for XPath locators, we use some Roblo Plus algorithm that makes them short and robust. Uh-huh. Okay. So XPath is a winner. It's a little bit. Let me remind you the advantage of XPath and CSS. So for me, the most advantage of CSS locators is that they are short and thus easy to read. But at the same time, CSS has significant disadvantages, such as you can't navigate in any direction in the DOM tree. You can't find element contained exact text. And XPath at the same time can do all of those stuff. The main disadvantage of XPath is that sometimes it's quite big, and full XPath is terrible. So our assumption, having this in the mind, our assumption was that XPath would be enough for everyone, and having our XPath optimized will be nice for the engineers. Unfortunately, it was wrong decision. Once we released the first version of Judean, we immediately got a feedback that on some projects in some companies, XPath locators are not allowed totally. So people are forced to use CSS selectors. So we make us in a very complicated situation, and we were forced to release CSS selector support very quickly. Okay, next question. Can you use any element attribute for the locators? Mm-hmm. Okay. The majority of people think that any attribute for the locators could be used. To be honest, I thought I have the same idea in my mind. Unfortunately, it not always. So some websites, some web applications, such as very simple example, Google Chrome, so has unique data attributes that just simply contain temporary session hashes. So once you try to use it as an attribute for your locators, they would work only once. So our algorithm Robula don't know about that. So and it provides useless locators in such cases. The next question: how do you think? How many elements on the page in average? Let's say in average. Oh, you probably can't vote. Sorry. Let me. Okay. Can you just now it have you can vote probably. No, let me check by myself. Oh, okay, pardon. Something went terribly wrong. Let's try once again. Okay, now it works. Or at least it works not for everyone. Okay, something is wrong probably, but I see at least one person who managed to vote, and I would say that mm, that was my assumption as well. So we think that average page has no more than 500 elements on it. Why it is important? Once you parse the page and you have to calculate all necessary locators. The personal computers that people would use for our plugin is not very good platform for the calculation. So on our live demo, one of our customers tried to use our plugin on its page that contained about 1,000 elements, and he immediately got stuck because the laptop exhausted the thermal package. We were forced to apply lots of engineering tricks and hacks to make the work of the plugin smooth later. Next question. Should we exclude invisible elements from the page? Mhm. And the winner is please keep them. Okay, yeah. That was my sorry. That was my assumption as well, since Selenium doesn't make difference between visible or invisible elements. So once Selenium recognizes them, we have to do the same. Unfortunately, that was wrong assumption. modern frameworks, let's say modern frameworks based on Selenium, such as GDI Lite, Selenit, Vividus, and all others, by default ignores invisible elements. Moreover, invisible elements visually overload coverage and make the calculation of optimal locators longer. So better to exclude invisible elements by default. Next question. Okay, we have our elements on the page. Would you prefer to see those elements as a list or as a tree? Oh, does it work? Yeah, it does. Okay, the winner is, so majority of people prefer to see as a tree. Well, in this case, my assumption was slightly different. I thought that tree is not necessary here. So you have to just select elements to add to page object. Why do you need a tree? Unfortunately, the first feedback from our customers, from our users, they said that they need a tree. And I asked them, why do you need so? They say that if they are not satisfied with locators, they would prefer to make them by themselves, and having the information of upper element could be useful for them. So we redesigned our list of locators to the tree. The next question. So you started the elements recognition on the page. Would you prefer to see all elements that system found, or no elements? In all, only to see elements that you just personally selected? So would you prefer to see empty page object or page object already pre-filled with the locators? Oh, so people split it on equal groups. Well, my assumption was that that people wants to see page object, all locators available on the list. So my idea was, if you just simply don't want to create locators, but just to see the useful locators and be able to copy them to your project if it is necessary, it could be useful, potentially useful. Unfortunately, our clients, our customers, and our users said that having so much information on the page is too much for them. So they would prefer to see only locators that they want to see, and that and they would select. So we were forced to add alternative way of using our plugin and allow users to create page object from the scratch with having no elements inside by default. This is not a question of test automation. This is somehow architectural question. So as I said, we use machine learning capabilities to recognize elements on the page. So can you just tell me, was at your point, is it a good idea to use machine learning for that kind of tasks? Oh, as I see, majority of people wants to be in the future. Okay, okay. So at your point, machine learning is a good idea. Yes, my assumption was absolutely the same. We Machine learning is a killer feature, right? Is a selling point. It provides some incredible capabilities, but unfortunately, using a machine learning has significant disadvantages. First of all, the main purpose of machine learning and AI is a recognition of hidden implicit dependencies. Moreover, result of the machine learning work has a probabilistic nature. So it is at the same time, it is hard to develop and hard to maintain. So at the same time, parsing of web page is a simple algorithmical task. So and using machine learning for that matter is so-called over engineering. So we contacted with the data practice, and they make some research for us and say that machine learning is not a good idea. So we are still using machine learning for some reasons, but we have a plan to change. Oh, what it change it and replace elements recognition with algorithmic way. So this is the end of my story so far. You can try Judean plugin by yourself. Just look at QR code provided, and and here I'm ready to answer on your questions if you have so.
Yes, we already have questions. Let me read them. Thank you for such a great presentation. It was very interesting. And our questions are, what are possible reasons of restricted QAs to use XPath?
Uh, well, short answer. I asked people the same question. Short answer. This is a customer policy, so they simply don't know why. But their XPaths are not allowed, and they are using CSS. So I don't know. Just customer wants so. But I agree. For me, for me also, it sounds strange, strange and very stupid.
Okay, thank you. And other question, does the Robula algorithm work with Appium? Appium.
Uh, well, actually, I the question, the short answer, I don't know. So we have some plans to apply the same idea to the mobile testing, but we haven't researched this yet. I suppose if the structure of the tree in Appium is similar to the DOM tree in web application, this algorithm for it.
We have next question. But what's about client's secret? Maybe it's about ChatGPT or email?
Yeah, that was our main concern once we started development. So we have two possible options of working our plugin. It could use cloud backend for the locators calculations, and in this case, it sends some data to the cloud. But at the same time, you can start backend locally, and this guarantee that your data remain in secret on your computer. Moreover, if you have very powerful PC, it could be even more preferable to use the local backend for the work. But again, majority of our people use laptops, and laptop is not a good platform for the calculation. It's simply not designed to do so. So if you are if you want to keep your secrets, simply start a local version of backend. So no question on that.
Okay. I'm turning on mute. Okay, we have next questions. Is it free, yeah, or is it open source? GDI.
Yes, both questions. Yes, so it is free to use, and it is open sourced. So I suppose you can easily find, if you Google Judean plugin, you can find the repository on GitHub.
And next question: what kind of ML tool you used? I see ChatGPT is quite good at locators.
Uh, we use if I'm not mistaken, we use a PyTorch library for machine learning. At the same time, we try to apply ChatGPT capabilities for GDN for searching optimal locators. I would say that we at least for that moment, we failed to find proper prompts to let ChatGPT provide necessary, I mean, short and robust locators as fast as Robula does. So for me, until now, the two main disadvantages of ChatGPT. First of all, it can't access to the pages on the internet. Well, at least I know that they added some plugins that allow to do so, but by default, it can't access to the random page on the internet to parse it and provide the locator. The second, unfortunately, ChatGPT is not designed to do tough calculations and tough algorithms, so it can't compute simple tasks, right? So if you ask it to multiply two numbers, it is definitely able to do so. But if you ask it to make some more difficult computation, it simply starts to hallucinate. So I suppose that the ChatGPT, at least for today, is not applicable for that matter, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately for us. But once it become applicable, its capabilities will be immediately used inside the GDN. We are all very interested in that.
You have next question. Is there a support team for the tool? Do you have support team?
Sorry, Arina. Arina, you are interrupting. Could you please repeat the question?
Okay, is there a support team for the tool? Can you hear me now better? can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Have something with our... I don't understand. Yeah, I think it's Alexei side. Okay, while Alexei have these issues, maybe I will share information about our gift from QAHub. I already shared it, but maybe you missed it. Okay, it's our partners, and now let me share information about the gift from QAHub. Please, for now, we are waiting for Alexei, but scan this following QR code. Follow us on Instagram. Post a photo in your Instagram story, how you watching us, and tag us close friends. Sharing is excluded. Also, posts are accepted till the end of this conference. It's finished 7:30, and your profile should be public to check for conditions. And your gift, 5 coins. It's our 3 places, and 1 coin if you participated. After you can change this coins to some prizes. Good luck, everyone. And also, again, I'm sharing our partners. And I don't see Alexei. He already joined. No. Okay, also, I want to share information that now we opened our new community. It's QAHub Armenia. You can see it in the center. I will share the link in the chat. And moment I will share while we're waiting. Okay. Can you please, for now, write down your questions? And if Alexei will have problems with his network, he will answer in the chat, I think. And we will continue our conference. But let's wait for 1-2 minutes. While we're waiting, I will send all our social networks that you can join them. Okay. I'm sending in the chat. Okay, then again, I will show our slide with our gift from QAHub. And I don't see Alexei, fortunately. Let's wait for a couple of seconds. And I think I will give word to Milena, our next speaker. Okay, Alexei wrote that he has problem with his network. Now I am going to give word to Milena, and Alexei will answer questions in the chat after. Okay. Hello, Milena. Milena was our speaker previous, our digital conference, and now Milena will talk about Python.
Hello everyone. Just a second, let me share my presentation. Well, Arina, is everything okay?
Okay, yes, one moment. No, we see your tool. How can you please reshare it and show full mode? Now I'm seeing everything with your notes.
Okay, just a second. Can you see it?
Yes, and now everyone can see it. Okay.
That's great. Can I start?
Yes, you can start.
Great. So once again, hello everyone. And today I'm going to talk about Python for QA engineers and discuss why it is great and how to use it. My name is Milena Laistseva. I've been working as a Python developer for more than 3 years, and almost all of them I've been working for EPAM. I have experience with many technologies, but my primary skill is Python backend development. I also have some experience with teaching Python for kids. Well, a common query that keeps running in the mind of every IT specialist is, do software testers have to write or learn code? In general, no. Manual testers don't have to learn and write code. Writing the code and debugging it is the responsibility of the developer. QA engineers have many responsibilities: test planning, test case design, test executions, and so on. QA professionals need a deep understanding of testing principles, methodologies, and industry best practices. There is a lot of stuff on their plates, and coding is not their main priority. In addition, learning a programming language for the first time might be a challenge. There are a lot of online courses that say you can learn a new language in a week, but in reality it could take years to understand everything. So it can be a waste of time, especially without everyday practice or if you are not motivated enough. And last but not least, while coding skills can be advantages, QA engineers can use different codeless tools in testing purpose. And to sum up, QA specialists do not require coding at all. And now let's look at this situation from a different angle. In the past, a person who tested applications didn't need to know how to program, because it was the role of a developer. It was always enough to test manually when the application was ready, considering the reality of a traditional process. However, in the age of Agile, a QA must have programming skills, because in Agile, the whole team is responsible for the quality of the product. By learning how to code, you can collaborate with the development team to fix minor bugs and to review application code. Now let me tell you two important things. First, and the most important one, is that if you have any doubts about the importance of programming to your QA career, just remember that knowledge is never too much. Learning to program will not be a bad thing for your career. In fact, you get many advantages and benefits by knowing how to program. The second important thing to say is that you do not have to worry about being a professional in software development or about having the same level as a developer. You need to at least have basic programming skills and be able to create code that can help you in your day-to-day work. Coding can be helpful in creating automated tests or performing technical tasks. For example, you will be able to automate the data creation that you need to execute test cases every day. In addition to this, if you understand the code, you will be able to recognize the possible bugs at the beginning of the development process. You will also learn about how data is represented and stored, about flow controls, decision points, branches, loops, and stuff. And this gives you the ability to understand how errors can be inserted into the system. Learn about how systems work, you will gain insights into how they may not work. You will no longer have a superficial view of an application and will deepen your technical knowledge even more. Being able to better understand what is going wrong in the application, it will be easier for you to describe bugs and reproduce them. Overall, learning a programming language can open up many opportunities for QA engineers. If you are a QA tester looking to enhance your technical skills, learning a programming language can be a valuable asset. However, with so many programming languages available, it can be overwhelming to determine which one to learn. Nowadays, there is no phrase like perfect based on the specific needs of your organization or project. If you're learning to use within a project in the company you work for, choose your team's language. If there is no specific language in your project, Java, Python, and JavaScript are popular languages used in QA testing, and there are many resources available to learn those languages. And SQL is also very popular, especially if you work with relational databases. SQL is a programming language used to manage and manipulate data in databases, and database testing is an essential aspect of QA testing, making SQL a valuable language to learn for testers. Here you can see the most commonly used programming languages in 2022. Python is on the 4th place. Let's talk a bit about Python history. Python is an open-source general-purpose programming language. Quade van Rossum developed Python based on the defunct ABC programming language and named it after the Monty Python comedy show. Yes, while you may know the Python as a large snake, Van Rossum named it after the Monty Python's Flying Circus, a BBC comedy series from the 1970s. He thought he needed a name that was short, unique, and slightly mysterious, so he decided to call the language Python. Python was designed to be simple, readable, and highly extensible through the use of models. The first version of Python was released in 1991, and the more fully featured Python 2 followed in 2000. Both releases have since been discontinued. Python 3 was introduced in 2008, but it is not compatible with early releases. So, why everyone loves Python? First of all, Python is a high-level language. High-level languages are more readable. They use meaningful variable names and have meaningful syntax. No understanding of the underlying operating system is required. In this respect, Python is similar to other programming languages, including JavaScript, Java, and C++, but is even more clear and legible. At the opposite end of the spectrum is assembly language. Assembly code refers to memory addresses and uses machine language instructions, so it's a bit difficult to use assembly language. Before I continue, let me shortly describe some programming paradigms. Programming languages support decomposing problems in several different ways. Most programming languages are procedural. Programs are lists of instructions that have to do with the program's input. For example, C and Pascal are procedural languages. The next paradigm is imperative, and according to the philosophy of this paradigm, code is just a series of instructions that change the state of the machine. For example, JavaScript is imperative programming language. The next paradigm is functional and functional programming dictions. Well-known functional language is Haskell. Last but not object-oriented paradigm. Object-oriented programs manipulate collections of objects. Objects have internal state and support methods that query or modify this internal state in some way. And object-oriented programming is probably one of the most popular programming paradigms. One of the Python's characteristics that it supports 4 main programming paradigms: imperative, functional, procedural, and object-oriented. But Python is known as an OP language with support for classes, methods, and inheritance. Unlike Java, Python does not enforce an OP model, and object-oriented design principles are strictly optional. So it is possible to use Python strictly in imperative, procedural, or functional mode for short programs and simple utilities. The next characteristic is that Python is an interpreted language. Unlike many languages, developers do not have to compile Python into assembly or machine code. When a developer completes a program, they can immediately run it with no intermediate steps. The Python interpreter deciphers each line at runtime and executes it. Python programs are platform independent because Python programs are interpreted, they can be ported to any platform. Yet another of the main characteristics of Python is that it is an open source programming language. Anyone can create and contribute to its development. This in turn means that it has a large community that works to improve and facilitate the learning of this programming system. Also, it is free to download for any operating system, including Windows, Mac, or Linux. And last but not least, Python is dynamically typed. Variables do not have to be assigned a type, such as integer, when they are first used. Python determines the type of a variable at runtime. Python uses a technique known as duck typing. It assigns a type to a variable depending on its value and how it is used. Python allows a variable to change type dynamically over the duration of the program. So let's talk about Python's advantages. The biggest Python's advantage is its syntax. Python is a language that has a very simple syntax. This is one of the reasons it is ideal for beginners getting into tech to consider as a first language. Compared to other languages, Python has one of the simplest syntaxes that uses fewer lines of code to accomplish a particular task. This makes it easier to learn the basics and understand the language within a shorter period of time. Let's take an example where we print the hello world statement using Python, Java, and C++. As you can see from the code snippets above, Python has the most concise and easy syntax compared to the others. I always say if you know English, you know Python. The next advantage is Python's versatility. This is one of the reasons why Python is such a popular language. No matter what field you're in, one way or the other, you'll probably be able to use Python in your work or personal projects. For instance, Python is an almost universal language. Python is a general-purpose language that can solve a vast variety of tasks. It is used in a wide range of fields, including web development, data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence, scientific computing, and even more. Python has a large collection of frameworks and libraries, all of which make it easier to use while creating applications and help you develop projects in a shorter period of time. And Python, again, is a cross-platform language, meaning that it is the code that is written in one operating system can be executed in another operating system without any issues. This is mostly useful for developers working on web projects who would like to test the project functionality on multiple devices. One of the reasons why I actually like Python is that it has a large open source community. This helps make many resources available to those who want to learn and contribute to the language. Also, this makes Python an evolving language that is always getting better and better. When it comes to learning something new, what you need is a good support. If a beginner is stuck learning something powerful without support, he or she will likely not go far. When we use the word open source, it means powered by community. The bigger the community, the more use cases there will be. This means that it is easier for anyone who's stuck to get help from the community. And the community is your backup. Massive code libraries help you save time. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, but use ready code for import. And also Python's script automation makes your life easier as it can automate your entire world. From the deployment of the test environment to continuous integration. Well, now you may think that Python is the best language in the world, and maybe you're right, but Python has its own disadvantages. First of all, Python is not very fast. It is much slower than more efficient languages like C and Java. Python is interpreted and dynamically typed, so the runtime compiler has a lot of work to do. This means Python is not the best choice for scenarios where speed is critical. In addition, Python is memory intensive. Python is not optimized to reduce memory. It can use 10 times the RAM as a program written in a more frugal language. So Python is not a good choice for memory-constrained environments. With Python, it's harder to avoid runtime errors because Python is not compiled until runtime and it is dynamically typed. Therefore, many problems that would otherwise be caught by the compiler do not appear until the program runs. And last but not least, Python programmers sometimes face difficulties in using other languages because they feel that other languages are more difficult to use. Well, I've mentioned some of the features that make Python in demand and popular, and here are a few more words on automation testing in Python. Once again, Python is object-oriented and functional. It allows choosing what suits your tasks better, functions or classes. Distributed functions don't have side effects, and simple syntax makes them readable. Python has a rich library of useful packages, and ready-to-use ingredients for automation greatly facilitates testing in Python. For example, PyTest is one of the best available frameworks for automation. It can handle any functional test, whether we are talking about units, integration, or end-to-end testing. Test cases are written simply as functions and can take parameterized inputs. Plugins extend PyTest capabilities and allow you to cover code, run several tests simultaneously, and integrate with other frameworks, for example, Django and Flask. Python's command line can drive the entire test automation workflow. Every test framework can launch a console for searching and running tests. Rich command line support greatly simplifies test management. Moreover, automation with Python supports exploratory testing. You can use Python calls to steer an app to a point when manual testing is required. Finally, yet importantly, scalability. Scalability makes Python equally great for beginners and experienced users. Scalability is achievable through syntax, superb structure, modularity, and a vast ecosystem of tools. It is also possible to integrate numerous side processes. Well, if you're not afraid of the shortcomings of Python, let's talk about your first learning steps. And first step is to understand logic. Logical thinking is one of the most necessary success in programming. The first thing you should do is to take a course in programming logic. People who learn programming logic start to learn a programming language easily. Second is to learn the basic syntax, data structures, and commands. As you learn, keep in mind that understanding the fundamentals of programming, such as data types, functions, and control structures, is very important before diving into advanced topics. Another important thing to note is that writing code is essential to mastering Python. The more you practice, the better you become. Build projects is a great way to help improve your understanding of the language. Start with small projects and gradually work your way up to more complex projects. So once again, learn programming logic, practice doing programming logic exercises, choose a programming language to learn. I hope you choose Python. Learn programming language and practice doing programming exercises. Sounds easy, doesn't it? While it's a great first language to learn, that doesn't make it a walk in the park. You'll want to take the necessary steps and find the right tools to help you along your learning path. So, how to start learning Python? How do you learn everything else? The strategy for Python doesn't differ much. First of all, having the right resources is a good start. There are a variety of resources to learn Python, some of which are paid and some of which are free. So find good online materials, free courses, YouTube lectures and tutorials, and mobile apps to learn the basics. At some point, find a mentor who can clarify the complicated topics. Getting familiar with the basics usually takes from 6 to 8 weeks. Read through a good Python book for beginners. Despite all the materials available online, nothing beats a good book. Once you finish your first book, keep learning. Try another book, take an online course, come up with a fun project you can do yourself, like making a website or programming a circuit board. And do not forget that practice is everything. Start with Python by writing simple programs from the very beginning. As your skills evolve, think about a more challenging project and start working on it. Learning a new language requires a lot of practice. This is why online training is a good choice, where you have a path starting from the basic level, level up to more advanced topics. You learn gradually with the opportunity to go back and repeat lessons that are challenging for you. I also use Python shell. It can be a great learning tool. And finally, join online communities. Read earlier posts and ask questions. The benefit of online communities is an opportunity to get a piece of advice based on reading. Keep reading articles and tutorials as you learn and even after you become quite skilled. Here you can see my own recommendations. For step-by-step lessons that are interactive, check out platforms like Python tutorial.org. For fully facilitated courses, check out platforms like Udemy, Coursera, or even YouTube. Honestly, I learned Python using YouTube. As for books, I recommend Automate the Boring Stuff with Python book. It's a book written specifically for people who are new to coding, and it shows very practical things you can do with Python. You can even read it for free online. The next book is The Zen of Python. It is a collection of guiding principles for writing on Python. It is an ideal manual for test automation. It reminds you about the basic rules that make automated test scripts efficient. The test should be simple and readable, obvious and relevant, complex but not complicated. And some would say that these things are evident, but the Zen of Python is a manifest that won't let you forget the basics. And there are a lot of websites where you can try to solve some challenges in Python. For example, leetcode.com. I love this website because here you can find tasks for developers with different levels of Python. And do not forget about Python shell because it can be a great learning tool. And now let's talk about how to write and run automated tests using Python. So Python comes with a set of tools and libraries that facilitate test writing. If you want to start your path in automation testing, you should start with simple tasks. Make sure you can execute those tests successfully before challenging yourself with complex tasks. The primary task is to decide what exactly to test. A test structure will follow a familiar workflow: generate inputs, execute the code, capture outputs, and compare actual and expected results. When you decide to automate a task, all you have to do is follow 5 simple steps. Think about how you would execute it without applying any technological solutions. List the steps and people involved. If needed, divide the task into a number of smaller assignments. Solve each of these tasks using an appropriate algorithm, and convert each of those algorithms to code using Python. Keep in mind that automated tests should be reusable. If you have spare time and desire to level up your scripting things, you can create tests covering anything you want. However, this is not efficient for dealing with real-life tasks. And here you can see some of the Python's top testing frameworks. First is Python unit test. It is a framework from the standard Python library and a great solution to start with Python automation. It provides a basic set of tools that supports fixtures, test cases used in test-driven development. The next one is PyTest, and it is the Python testing framework for small projects. It supports compact test suites and offers quick bug fixing. It can run parallel tests and integrate with other test frameworks. The next is Robot, and it is an open-source code-driven framework for acceptance testing that provides a rich collection of tools and libraries. The next one is Behave. It is a widely used behavior-driven framework. So written in semi-formal language, it is easy to read for QA team and non-technical specialists, opening opportunities for collaboration. Jasmine is also one more BDD framework. It is easily integrated into, for example, Django projects, allows parallel execution of server-side and client-side test cases, and makes tests more resilient to changes. Like PyTest test project is also an open source automation framework that simplifies the process of development test automation. It gives you cloud and local HTML reports. Moreover, the framework supports the PyTest and unit test frameworks and all required dependencies as part of a single executable cross-platform agent file. And last but not least, we have doctest. Doctest is a part of the standard Python library. In Python, you use docstrings for several purposes. For example, if you want to explain what a function does, you do that in docstrings. You can also document what the function accepts as input and the output it returns. Doctest looks at this information and treats them as interactive Python shell commands. That's it. It runs them and compares the output with the output you have described. So there are a lot of great Python libraries and frameworks that you need to install, but let's not forget about useful built-in models that can help you in testing and writing programs. First, it's JSON and CSV models. These built-in models in Python is used for handling JSON and CSV files and data interchange. The next model is RE model, so standing for regular expressions that help the computer to handle the incoming strings from the other applications. The next model is random, and this model is used for generating data randomly, provides a great random number source for example, for math simulations. OS model provides functions necessary to interact with the operating system or a convenient way to use them. Sys model, as one of the Python standard utility models, it provides functions and variables needed to manipulate various parts of the Python runtime environment. HTTP model is also very useful. It defines the classes which provide the client side of the HTTP and HTTPS protocols. And time model. This model has many time-related functions, and it is mostly used to find the total execution time of a program. So what will you get from learning Python? First of all, you can save your time. Coding can be helpful in creating automated tests or performing technical tasks. With Python, you can easily create scripts and automate some of your test cases. There will be no need in any additional tools. For example, no need in Postman for sending API requests. It will be easier to understand the complexities of software development, making you identify risks, find bugs, point out problems in the code, speak the developer's language, and contribute significantly to technical discussions. And you can be flexible. You can easily switch from manual testing to automated testing and even to become a developer. Overall, the knowledge of a programming language can help a QA specialist in different ways. Besides providing access to test automation tools, the ability to understand code also advances manual testing. One way or another, it enhances a person's competitiveness and make a software testing company better prepared for the market challenges. So thank you for your attention and feel free to ask questions.
Thank you very much. Milena, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes. Thank you for a great presentation. And we have discussion in our chat, a lot of discussions. And main question, where is it? Yeah, please share the link to learn Python. And you can...
Which which link to online material to some course?
Yeah, you can send all links to me, and after your talk, I will share the
Okay.
audience. Have a lot of discussions. Who will use what, and we are waiting for your questions. Please don't forget to send badges to Milena, to Alexei for their talks, for their great talks. And while we're waiting, we have some questions in our portal. And 1 minute, I will open it. Okay, we have a very interesting question. Can I learn Python in 3 days? Is it possible to, to learn in 3 days Python?
Well, in general, it takes around 2 to 6 months to learn the basics of Python. But you can learn enough to write your first short program in a matter of minutes. Developing mastery of Python's vast array of libraries can take months or even years, actually.
Okay, thank you. We're waiting for your questions. And next question. Can Python be used with Selenium? We had the same in our discussion. That's why you didn't mention. You mentioned Roblox, but not Selenium.
Yeah, yes, Python language is used with Selenium to perform testing. And Python API is very helpful to connect with the browser through Selenium. And also Python Selenium combination can be used to write functional and acceptance tests using Selenium WebDriver, and Selenium actually is very good with Python. Yeah, sorry that I didn't mention it.
Great, thank you. And which framework is best for Python automation? What do you think?
Well, you need to consider the advantages and limitations of each framework. And you need also to consider the testing type, like the one of the measures for choosing the best testing framework. For example, for functional testing, robot, PyTest, and unit test frameworks are great. For BDD testing, Behave framework is good, and Robot is also the best framework for those who are new to Python testing and wish to get a solid start, for example.
Okay, thank you. And our next question, I understand that it's related to Python. What would you be advice on how find a mentor? Mentor for Python? Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, as I mentioned, there is a big open source community, so you can try to find a mentor in the internet. I use LinkedIn actually for finding a mentor, so you can also use LinkedIn. And well, you can find a course. So in many courses, you will have your individual mentor to learn Python. But these courses are not free, actually.
Okay, thank you for your answer. Again, we are waiting for your questions. So also we are waiting for your badges for Milena, for Alexei, maybe for me. But okay, mainly it's Milena and Alexei. Okay, next question that we have in our portal. Is it better to use Python second or Python third? Yes, if I'm reading correctly. Second version, yeah? Python.
Yeah. We have two versions of Python, Python 2 and Python 3. And Python 2 was popular in early 2000s, but Python 3 is the greatest option for learning in 2023. I know that Python 2 may be required in specific instances. However, Python 3 is the most often used language, so I will suggest using and starting with Python 3.
Okay, thank you. And I will verify questions. Do we have another question? And Yes, we have the last question. What is the hardest thing about learning Python?
Um, well, just like anything else, your path in learning Python won't always be a straight line. It won't be easy every day. And in my point of view, the hardest thing is to start your learning process. Of course, there will be a lot of obstacles, starting from setting up the work environment and continue with some Python concepts that are hard to understand. For example, understanding the concepts of OP classes, objects, and inheritance can be difficult for beginners as they can be abstract.
Thank you. And I don't see other comments, questions. I again want to appreciate you. Thank you, Milena, for a great talk. Thank you that you agreed again be our speaker. You can find Milena's great talk about relationship between developer and QA team in our QAHub recording, our first digital QAHub conference. And again, thank you and send pages. Don't forget, please, to send pages to Milena, Alexei, and me. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, Milena. And now I'm giving a word to our next speaker, to Julia. If you are a follower of our podcast, QAHub podcast, you heard this voice many times. It's our, and now you can see our podcast hero, our Julia. Julia, now give word to you with your great topic about mobile testing.
Hi everyone. So is it okay with my voice? Because I
Yes.
had problems several times. Okay. So I'm so glad to be here. It's like come back home. So it's so cool. So tell me if you can see my screen.
Not in full.
Yeah.
Yeah, not in full.
Now it's okay. Yeah. So basically, I'm going to tell you about mobile testing projects and challenges in a tactical setting. But before we dive into it, I just want you to know me a little bit. So my name is Julia, and I'm software testing engineer with 3 years of experience in manual function testing and automated testing. So I have tried tons of different like mobile testing, performance, security. So I'm just into testing very much. And also I'm a constantly tech talk presenter in QAHub community, my favorite one. And also I'm founder of QAHub podcast about testing. And you can find us on Spotify. Just type in the search like QAHub podcast. And there are almost 3 seasons with different testing topics. And so let's start and let's begin. So in this digital area, mobile devices have become an inseparable part of our lives, right? Transforming the way we communicate, work, interact with the world around us. So, and the explosive growth of mobile applications has presented both opportunities and challenges for developers, testers, and organizations striving to deliver seamless user experiences to an increasingly diverse and demanding audience. So let's discuss it into deep, and you can see the agenda for today. The first will be like introduction to mobile testing. Then we'll discuss mobile testing approaches, key challenges, like tools and best practices in it. But before that, I would like you to go to follow this link and or scan the QR code in order to see how what is the percentage of mobile OS you use, yeah, and just go to the Mentimeter and just let me open it also. And here you can see like the quiz, just choose the answer, like what do you use mostly, like Android, iOS, other, maybe you don't use phones at all, you use pigeons, who knows, or maybe you write letters, what's on, like, let's see. what will be the result. Just some minutes to go with that. How interesting, 50-50. Just one more minute to see. I guess, Irina, we need to duplicate the link in the chat for those who didn't have time. Okay. So what an interesting point here comes, like 50% for Android and 50% for iOS. I guess Arina put this in the chat still, and in the end we will see what will be the final percentage of mobile OS that you use, guys. So, and let's go further with that. So I have here like a timeline about mobile OS usage worldwide, and I have chosen this time range not just because I wanted. No, it was on purpose. So in 2010, you see that the biggest percentage was for iOS, and some percentage like also still big for BlackBerry OS and for others, because that time we did have like different mobile OS, and Android only started to develop, and 2018 was chosen on purpose because to that time most like mobile OS except iOS and Android just vanished, and or they were used really rare. That's why, and you see that Android has the biggest percentage that year because they started to develop a lot to bring new features and new concepts. And iOS lost some of the users, and if you see like our years, you see that Android's still on the top, but iOS also started to to catch and new users, and also I also use iOS more than Android. Yeah, that happens. Okay, so why mobile testing, right? So why mobile testing, and especially from the name of this topic, like technical setting, what does it mean? Like in the context of mobile testing, a technical setting refers to the environment or context in which the testing activities take place. So that means the setting involves the use of various technical tools, devices, platforms, methodologies to conduct comprehensive testing of mobile applications. So it encompasses the entire process of evaluating the functionality, performance, security, and like other aspects of the mobile app, using a range of technical resources and expertise. And for here, so all these three parts, like quality, performance, user experience also, and security, they are highly important. So, and if we talk about technical setting, we need to think about hardware and device, right? The physical devices like smartphone, tablets, that the app will be tested on. Like these devices can have different specifications, screen sizes, like operating system and capabilities, right? Because we have huge range of mobile devices, and also operating systems, right? So the various mobile operating system. For now, the most popular are iOS and Android, right? Also, don't forget about this, like that they have versions, right? Also, we need to point that we need to check the versions also. Then testing tools, like tools and frameworks used for test automation, performance testing, security testing, and other like specialized testing tasks. These tools help streamline the testing process to ensure consistent results, right? And then development environments. So the development and testing environments where the app is built, tested, and debugged, right? This might include integrated development environments like IDEs, maybe you have heard like Android Studio, right? And test environments that like mimic real world conditions. Like then in the technical setting, we include network simulators, right? Like software tools that simulate different network conditions like 3G, 4G, Wi-Fi, slow connection, and for now also 5G is getting more popular in order to test like app behavior under varying network scenarios. Emulators, simulators, API testing tools, bug tracking, test plans, test cases, version control. So all that stuff, which is highly important if we talk about mobile testing in technical setting. Yeah, and here we have like mobile testing approaches. I have chosen these ones. So the first one is manual testing. So as just basic manual testing, it provides like a human touch when you have a device and you just use your hand in order to test the app, like allowing to like this approach allows to identify usability issues, design inconsistencies, and other like nuances that automated tests might miss, for example. Yeah, while manual testing provides a deep understanding of the like user experience, it can be time consuming, right, and resource intensive, especially like as we strive to support the plethora like of devices and platforms. And also I include here like suitable scenarios. So if we go there, you can see here like all possible suitable scenarios. Like I haven't included all of them because it will take a long time. I just put some examples and some example of this case which you can use. And I divided into several parts like functional testing, performance security, and UI. User experience, right? So if we talk about functional testing, what we can include into our checks, right? Like, for example, you can include to like validate whether all the required mandatory fields, if you have like some fields in your application, if they're working as required. Remember, yeah, requirements. We need that. Then to validate that mandatory fields are displayed in the screen in a distinctive way that the non-mandatory fields. For example, to validate whether the application works as per the requirement whenever the application starts or stops. To validate whether the application goes into minimized mode whenever there is an incoming phone call. Yeah, for example, in Get It, then application doesn't interrupt your phone call, and you're still available for any person who calls you. So right, how to do this? In order like to fulfill this situation, you need to have like two phones, right? The one you have with the application in it, another you just call to the phone and see how this test goes, like is it passed or failed. If we talk about user experience, so here everything about the design, comfort for the user, like to ensure that the buttons should have the required size and the buttons are suitable for big fingers, yeah, to ensure that the buttons are placed in the same section of the screen, to avoid like confusion to the end user, to ensure that the icon are natural and consistent with the application, to ensure that the buttons which have the same function should also have the same color, to ensure that validation of the tapping, zoom in and zoom out facility should be enabled. So all stuff connected to the like using it exactly. So if we talk about performance, right, what important checks are here? Like to determine whether the application performs as per the requirement under different load conditions, right? Because we use mobile phones even more than our laptops. That's why it should work under different load conditions to determine whether the correct network coverage is able to support the application at peak, average, and or minimum user levels, like to determine whether existing client-server configuration setup provides the required optimum performance level, to identify the various application and infrastructure bottlenecks, right, which like prevent the application to perform at the required acceptability levels. And I can continue till the night to like listing all the checks you might have here, but we don't have, unfortunately, that time. Security. So in short, what we can check here to validate that the application is able to withstand any brute force attack, yeah, which is an automated process of trial and error used to guess like a person username, password, or credit card number even. To validate that the application had a strong password protection system and it does not permit an attacker to like obtain, change, or recover another like user password. Yeah, we can try to use like SQL injections in order to check it. Yeah, okay. And if we go back, also I have here like automated testing. So it's a very big topic, to say the truth. It's a huge topic and my favorite one. I just have something to say here, like in the end of this year, 2023, I'm going to have another tech talk, which we will be devoted only to automated testing. So if you are interested in it, in some demos, like how to automate, like how to write tests with me, just at the same time, just be like aware, like subscribe to all our social networks, and stay tuned and wait for my tech talk about automated testing. But still I have something to say here. So actually in automated testing, since it's a powerful approach, yeah, that relies on scripts and tools to execute tests quickly and repeatedly. So mostly automated tests are excellent for tasks that are repetitive in nature, right? Like for regression, we need to go through the same functionality all the time, or where you need to accomplish performance testing because you don't have like 1,000 users sitting and waiting to start testing your app. And here you have like automated testing. So okay, yeah. So and if we talk about automated testing, we have here like unit tests, UI tests, performance, API tests. So unit tests, these are the like smallest units of code are tested like by using automation, like during the really early development stage, and mostly they are completed by developers, right? And if we talk about QA, it's like it's more about UI tests, like Selenium, Gherkin. They also, but still they have minuses, because if we talk about some design inconsistencies, still human wins. Performance tests also can be like should be like fulfilled via automated testing. So these tests help test the speed, responsiveness, stability of the application on the test, like and also API tests, also a huge part of automation to send the API calls and see the like response. So how to choose? Yeah, how to choose which test to automate. So so basically, we choose tests by the complexity, right? So if we see that test cases have plenty of complex manual scenarios and require lots of data, they should be automated, right? Because it takes time for manual tester to like go through them. For example, during regression, in order to save time, we give it to Aqua team. Yeah. Also, test case should be automated if it will, you understand that it will save significant amount of time, that the tests are going to be repeated, the tests are stable, not risky, and are likely to change. The tests are error prone if done manually, and the test has several downtime between steps. We still need to like automate it. But still, I can continue forever in terms of automation. That's why just wait for my tech talk devoted to automated testing only. And also, I have a point here like about crowd testing, right? What is it? Like crowdsource testing when we involve external testers, right? With different devices to collect feedback, right? And also this approach has pluses and minuses. So if we talk about pluses, like by relying on workforce of temporary testers, you are reducing labor costs, right? You can test without having to pay permanent employee salary or benefits. It's still efficient, yeah. With a crowdsourced team, you won't have like to make your employees test your products and add the already large workload. Additionally, crowdsourced teams can work in bursts to manage peak workloads, right? Fast execution with such a large group of people, right, at your disposal, you are able to find bugs and other issues like faster than you would have with just your like small team, core team. And also crowdsourced teams use people from all over the world, and this can be especially beneficial for like localization testing when you need to check your app with upon different cultures and languages. But still, this approach has like minuses. Poor understanding of brand, because crowdsourcing diversity comes at price, since they don't work inside the company, right? They will have like a poor understanding of your brand and mission and like business lack, right? They don't have understanding here, and lack of professional knowledge might happen, because smaller, more qualified team of testers will be more knowledgeable about how and where to find bugs than crowdsourcing. One-sided, I would say, like depending on your source vendor, you may not be able to communicate directly to testers. This can lead to more one-sided conversions, and also like subpar bug writing skills. Crowdsourced testers are not professional like quality assurance engineers, and they're not well trained how to write up issues so that the devs can easily recreate, understand, and fix bugs. That's why it's a bit risky, but still it's cool that it's fast, right? If you need to check your application really fast, you can still rely on crowdsource, on crowd testing. Yeah. So, if we talk about important checklists I have here, so important checklist, what do you need to do if you have like mobile testing? So you can read that you need to go through installation testing. First of all, whether the application can be installed at all, like then vice versa, uninstallation testing. You check that whether you can uninstall it successfully, yeah, without crashes. Then include into testing network test cases, validation, right? Whether the network is performed under like private load or not, whether the network is able to support a necessary application, and so on and so forth. Check unmet keys, check application splash screen. Also check methods, like use methods which deal with the exiting the application, charge effect, right? Also here, like low battery, how your application will work on low battery and on high performance. Like point number 10, it's quite tricky because some of the phones, they don't have like a possibility to remove to a battery, but I guess we don't have such phones. I haven't seen, but still, if you have this phone in your hand, which you can like where you can remove the battery, so do it, right? So what happens right afterwards when you put it back and see what happened to the application, right? And also check application side effects. Okay. And by the way, if you still like have questions, don't wait, don't be afraid. Like write them in the chat. We'll discuss them later for sure. And we go next to like key challenges, right? So key challenges in mobile testing. To say the truth, there are a lot. Yeah, there are tons of different skill challenges. So, but basically, I have most of them here. And if we talk about manual, right, device fragmentation, because with so many devices, so many companies, so many like such a wide choice we have, like with screen sizes, screen resolutions, yeah, it's challenging, right? And some companies or some projects, they cannot afford us. They cannot afford to buy all kinds, right? All kinds of device, all kind of screen size, and so on and so forth. That's why it's a challenge. So what to do? What to do? Forget about mobile testing? No. What we can use here, we can use mobile phone. So they're getting popular nowadays when you have some like tons of different mobile sets, and they are like they are working on the internet, and you can like go and choose a device you preferred and test your application there, or you can use like emulators, simulators, and still have your mobile application tested, right? So platform diversity is the next one. Like as I said before, iOS and Android, they have their unique quirks, right? And for example, if one feature works on Android perfectly, flawlessly, it doesn't mean that on iOS it will be working the same. So the developers should be like careful with it, and also you as a tester need to check it according to like, do not rely on one operation system. If you think that Android it works perfectly, go and check on iOS the same, right? network conditions, like mobile apps rely on networks, as I mentioned tons times before, use network simulators tools in order to check under different network conditions. User interactions, users, I believe that users are our best testers because they interact with apps in many ways, and sometimes you even didn't know about that possibility to use this application, but they still find the way how to use it differently. That's why you need to be creative when you are working on your test cases, on your checklists, and think non-standard, right? If you think that the user will like click this button and that's it, no, try another way, right? Because they sometimes do it differently and they miss this button, but they find another way to go to menu, for example, or any feature you have in your mobile application. So don't think that the user will go through the flow you created for them, right? Security concerns, also, as I mentioned before, security is paramount, so use security testing. That's interesting. In my career, I had a project which was connected to create an application with password, right? So when user entered the application, he had like the first screen, to enter to create like before the password, and next to enter the password. And that was interesting because like when I started to check it for security, and I used gesture to slap like on the right without entering a password, I could easily enter the application. You see, it was a bug. It was a critical bug, but it was so funny because only with gesture you can enter the application without entering the password, and it was like and the developer was astonished, like, how did you do this? And when I showed him, he said like, oh, I didn't think about about the gesture. That's why it's a crucial to remember all these specific points when you work with mobile testing. Performance optimization, again, yeah, we use applications daily, and even more than laptops and other things. So that's why most applications, they are on high performance, right? And limited resources require optimizing application performance, right? So yeah, I had experience with performance when I had a vacation, and it was the first registration by users, and that time, like I was said that in the requirements, like that application should work flawlessly when it is used like by 10,000 people at the same time. Right? So when 10,000 people go to the application, open it, register, and use the features, right? So, and that time I worked with Python, actually. Hi to the previous speaker. Yeah, I worked with Python, and I wanted to provide like performance testing, and I chose Locust for that, and I needed to write this script. And when I tried it with 10,000 people, like it was a failure, a huge failure, because when at the same time we had 1,000 people, application crashed, died like forever and never come back to life. Yeah, and it was an interesting experience, and not for developers, of course, but for me, yeah, it's like I found a critical bug. Yeah, I'm a great tester. Yeah, that's why it's important not to forget that performance optimization for mobile applications even more important. Yeah, than other things like localization and internalization. Again, testing apps for different cultures and languages, because not everyone is using English, for example, right? Maybe other languages. So it's easy to understand. Like continuous testing, if we talk about agile, it demands like continuous testing. Yeah. And if we talk about challenges in test automation, right? So in test automation, first challenge is learning curve. What does it mean? Like most of automation tools have a steep learning curve as their code-based tools, right? You need to learn how to use automation tools. And most times, coding is required from task creation to test maintenance. That's why it's a bit like, for example, if you're just a manual tester and you understand that for your goals you need automation, so it takes time to learn, right? Learn the language, learn the tool, and get experience, go all through ups and downs, and so on and so forth. The next one is a unrealistic goal. When like it's important to set realistic goals and expectation from automated testing, and like should be mixed with other forms of testing and analysis to get optimal software quality, right? So put realistic goals, set realistic goals. Next, flaky tests. So I would say here that like in most tools, like including Selenium, tests are flaky, right? The test scripts often break, and it's true. I have like I had it like in my experience. Any change in the application, your script is down. Any change, like script is down, you need to redo it, because application development, it's not staying on the like place. It's developing, new features comes, old features like cut off, for example. That's why maintenance of test cases of test scripts can be challenging. But still, lack cognitive ability, I would say. Automated tests will only check the parts which they have been programmed to check, right? And it will fail to detect failures where it is not programmed to detect, right? So that's why you need to keep this in mind, right? So I have here tips, right? Tips to test mobile app. Okay, so what are the tips then? First of all, learn the app you're going to test. Yeah, come on. You need to know the business logic. You need to understand the app. I have like here a point. I remember then somebody said me like, you need to become this app, right, to understand how it behaves. Like funny, but makes sense somehow. Remember the difference between desktop and mobile apps, right? Gestures, like take into account the operating system and hardware specifics, right? The variety, the huge variety, the versions, all the stuff. Use real devices when it's possible. Of course, when it's possible, when your project can do this, when your company can do this, it's better. Of course, it's always better to use real devices, because you really see where are the issues. Then use the tools you're familiar with. or learn very fast how to use it, because it takes time to understand how to use this tool. Use all possible manuals, like educational videos about the tools. There are tons on YouTube, actually. Use the advantages of the cloud mobile testing. Also confirm like your findings with screenshots, logs, and videos. Like it's about like bugs, right? Don't forget to report them, because it's very crucial. I would say. Yeah. And logs, what I wanted to say, like ask or do it by yourself. Ask your developers or do it by yourself. Include logs into your application in order to see when it happens, like different failures, and you might see these logs and attach them to the bug report, and the developer can faster fix it, faster understand this bug, right? Provides your mobile app testing both for portrait and landscape screen mode. Don't forget that we can turn your device, yeah, and see how it looks like. Use the development menu options for iOS and Android. Do not neglect simulators and simulators for testing. Still, they are pretty useful. And verify performance. Do not automate everything. Again, be smart here. Get real users if it's possible, if your project can allow it. So get real users to test your app, just to collect more feedbacks. Maybe, yeah, to give your browser. Yeah, release the time to work out more complex unconventional test scenarios. It's what I said before. Be creative, right? Be creative. Think non-standards. Okay. Consider the human factor. Don't forget about that one. Okay. So still have bit time, right? Tools and technologies. Here we come to the most interesting ones, like what to use, like when. So you need to automate, or you need to go through manual testing. You don't use only like the device and that's it, right? And test cases. So testing tools. So Appium, Catalan, it's, well, I'm astonished by it. It's not advertisement, no. It's just my experience. Flutter, Postman, Selenoid, Kathleen, Gmeta. So Appium, also a great tool, by the way. Postman's for API testing, right? Kathleen, Gatlin, and Gmeta for performance testing. So actually, like now on the market, we have tons of different tools, and some of them are paid, some of them free. So it depends on what you need from the tool, right? It depends on the project you have. Can you afford it or not? For example, as for my projects where I work, like we used like Appium, we used Postman, so something which is open source, and because some projects they cannot afford it, and it's okay. It depends on what you need, and it depends on the budget you have. As for development environments, because you still, in order to test your device, you need development environments. If we talk about, for example, automation, right? Or if we talk about using like emulator, simulator, you still have the environment, for example, Android Studio. Yeah, but it's very hardware demanded, right? Android Studio and Xcode, Android Studio for Android. Yeah, respectively, Xcode for iOS. Network simulators, something which I used, it's NetSim, a great tool to simulate network. OpenNet, also a great tool. according to the reviews on it. Emulators and simulators. So basically, let's find out what is the difference, right? So actually, simulator is designed to create environments that contains all the software variables and configurations that will exist in app's actual production environment. In contrast, the emulator attempts to mimic all the hardware features like our production environment and software feature. So here you can see like the difference between them. Yeah, so hopefully that you can rewatch it next and see um, the difference, right? Because we are a bit run on the time. Yeah, okay. And then they have like best practices for effective mobile testing, planning, right? Test planning is crucial to create like comprehensive test plans, test cases, really think when you create it, to not to forget anything, to organize your mobile testing to make it more effective. Collaboration is very important between testers and developers in order to issue like detection to fast fix it, to fix it faster. Like don't forget about implementing robust continuous integration, utilizing cloud-based testing also for scalability, for example, also like regular testing and quality assurance, user-centric approach, like prioritize user needs and preferences, like when you're designing for the mobile app, right? Performance, as I said before, like create well-structured API, use CI/CD tools, error monitoring and logging. Don't forget, like implement error monitoring and logging mechanism, like in the mobile app to like identify issues and address like them proactively. What else? Analytics and user like insights also possible, like integrate analytical tools into both the mobile app and like backend to get valuable insights into user behavior and kind of app performance. And I guess we are ready for questions. But before we start, if you want to know more about mobile testing, like more about tools, devices, do not hesitate to follow this link. So actually, this link will lead you to our podcast episode with Peter Folhazy, the Q quality architect, who kindly told us about some tricky like things about mobile testing, about simulators, emulators, and so on and so forth. Just go ahead and listen for more information. So, Arina, are you
Yeah,
with us?
yeah. You.
So I'm ready for the questions.
We're waiting for your questions, but we have not finished one thing, minzy.com. Let's check what we have there.
Oh, yeah, thank you so much. So let's see what we have here. So are you ready, guys?
Yeah,
Woohoo! So
I'm ready.
still we have Android as the winner.
Yeah, I'm using Android and I'm happy. Of Android.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone who joined the this quiz. So let's start with questions.
Yes, we're waiting for your questions. I see on the hearts to Julia, and yes, we're waiting for your questions. I have some questions in our portal, and don't forget to send badges to Julia and to our previous speakers. Maybe for me, but yeah,
Yeah.
your badges. Okay, and let's do our Q&A session. Questions. Okay, where was my questions? What metrics should testers focus on to ensure optimal app performance for mobile applications?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's interesting question. So there are tons of them, but let's talk about like key metrics, right? The first one is response time, yeah, to measure how quickly the app responds like to user interaction. Load time like focuses on how quickly the app launches and like displays content, like particularly crucial during the app initial launch. Again, network latency. Yeah, I always talk about network, like mobile apps often rely on network connectivity. So testers should evaluate how the app performs under different network conditions, like 3G. I guess everyone forgot about 2G, right? But it still has the coverage, like or even Edge, right? 4G, Wi-Fi, resource usage also monitoring, like including CPU, like memory, scalability, yeah. Like as user traffic increases, the app performance should remain consistent. Yeah, something like that.
Yes, and we have magic, not 2G, but it's E, yes, that we have.
Yeah.
Very, very slow. And you also need to try to test in this mode. Maybe you're in train or somewhere where is
You,
such
where you
network.
need to jump like in the air, like please work, please work, please work.
Okay, we're waiting for your questions and thank you words, pages, everything. Yes, and next question. Okay, in the context of mobile game development, my favorite, how do testing approaches and changes differ from those of other types of mobile applications? Really, I wanted to be a tester of games, mobile games, and I want to know answer for this question.
Yeah, um, great question. Actually, I once had this in my experience, and I have never ever then tried then because like games testing is not for me. When you need to go through the same feature again and again, again and again, again and again, and it's a bit like makes me crazy. So actually, what approaches, right? So the first of all, um, extensive gameplay testing is crucial for games, right? So testers play through different levels, scenarios, and game modes, and they can do it from the morning till night. Like, and we need to identify like bugs, glitches, and balance issues here. So this one. Then we need to look for, like as I said, performance and optimization, right? So rigorous like performance testing is required to ensure like smooth frame rates, minimal lag, and like efficient use of device resources. Then graphics and the visuals, like because you have a game, you need to play for a long time, so visual quality is highly crucial. Testers focus like on graphics, rendering, animations, lighting effects, like overall visual fidelity. And again, user experience. Testers evaluate the game's fun factor, like user engagement and like overall experience, like to ensure it meets players' expectations. Then game mechanics, right? Testers really explore game mechanics, control, yeah, how it works, and by using different kinds of control, user interactions, in-game system, like to uncover issues related to usability and game flow. Also, I would say multiplayer. Yeah, testing multiplayer functionality involves assessing real-time interactions, server stability. What else? I would say synchronization across players, when, for example, you play among uh, uh, lots of people. Cross-device compatibility, again, as I said before, so it the games should run smoothly on various devices and operating system versions, right? Testing covers like different screen sizes, resolutions, hardware configurations, and so on and so forth. And continuous updates, right? Because games often receive updates, new content to attract and keep the users. Like that's why testing and going updates requires like a balance between maintaining stability and introducing new features. Yeah, I would say like that.
Yeah, thank you for such detailed answer about this question. Yes, and now I think it was last question. I don't see other questions in the chat. And okay, let me share the link with podcast link in the chat. Yes, for us, our podcast. Again, Yulia, thank you very much that you agreed. Thank you that you agreed to the second part of automation. We are waiting for your talk. And please listen our podcast. Listen, Yulia, her perfect voice. And we are waiting you for next our talks. Thank you, Yulia. Have a
Thank
nice
you, guys. Thank you, guys. I was glad to perform and hope that I will do it further because I love testing so much and I love this community. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, and let me share my screen again. And I want to share our one moment announcement about our gift from QAHub, and then I will give word for our speaker. Yes, I think you can see my screen. And again, scan the following QR code, follow us on Instagram, post a photo in Instagram, post some conference, how are we speaking, or something, how you type in the comment in the chat, everything related to conference. Post at in the accepted till the end of our conference, till 7:30, and your profile should be public to check for conditions, and close friend sharing is excluded. What you will receive? You will receive 5 points. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I showed wrong slide. You will receive one coin if you're for all participants, and 5 coins if you will win. We will have 3 people who will win. Okay. And now let me announce our partners. One moment. Again, we have our new community, QAHub Armenia, our partners, Global Testing Community, QA Community, Business Analysis Community, and NGX Community. Please also follow them. And I'm giving word for to our next speaker, Daria. Hello, Daria.
Hello to everyone.
Hello, Daria. Daria will talk about very popular topic now, our GPT chat. Everyone talk about this GPT chat. GPT chat will replace us, how to work with this chat. And Daria already works with this magic chat, and she will share with her experience.
Yeah, thank you for introducing. I guess I can share my screen. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, can you see my screen? Please share.
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah, nice. So let's start. Yeah, as I said earlier, my name is Daria. I am a software test automation engineer, and today we will talk about using GPT chat in test automation. So thank you for joining. So our agenda for today is discuss the right prompt. Next is how to use the chat in generation test data, and also convert test scripts to BDD scenario. Also, we will speak about how to use chat for coding and, of course, about XPath generation with ChatGPT. The joke that you can see on the slide is a joke that ChatGPT was generated. So let's start about prompt. Stranges your responses. Providing specific prompts avoids strange replies and promises distinct get answer. A route prompt ensures you receive accurate, in-depth responses, which could help you with your request. The second point is increase efficiency. Interacting with AI with dead-end prompts will stop your progress, and you will be spending time for reruns, trying to get the right answer. Using effective AI prompts, or we will get you a more targeted, detailed response on the first try, saving your time. And third point is improve your interaction in the future. The ability to write good requests now will help you reuse your prompting for chatting in the future without answering and without getting confused by the answering and without confusing the chat itself. Yeah. So how it should be, how prompt should be. I give you some advice. Set a goal for yourself, first of all. Begin by clearly stating your goal or the task you want chat to perform. The next point is be clear, be targeted, don't spread out of different topics and remember, one chat, one topic. Use specific and concise language, avoiding ambiguity or overlay complex sentences. The second is context. What do you want from chat? Provide relevant context or background information to help chat better understand the task that you want to resolve. The fourth point is try twice. If the initial prompt doesn't yield the desired result, experiment with the different wording, keywords, or approaches with different sentences, so like this. Rephrase your ask twice or triple times. If the chat still doesn't understand you, it might be better to just start a new one, because the chat will be a little confused. The next is clearly specify any format, length, or other constraints you want chat to adhere to while responding to the prompt. How you see the sixth point, it's how you see the chat GPT. Who am I is the question from chat. Don't hesitate to ask follow-up question or request clarification if chat response isn't what you expected or if you need more information. Remember that chat is a cool search system that can help you with anything, but with the right prompt. Yeah, the next topic is generate test data. It's about don't waste your time. Saving your time for maybe more interesting points. Generating test data is essential for a variety of purposes, including software testing, data analysis, and machine learning model evaluation. Here's how chat can help you with generating test data. Diverse data ranges. Chat can provide you with the test data that spans a wide range of values, ensuring comprehensive coverage of your test scenarios. Customizable formats. Whether you need numerical, categorical, or text data, chat can generate in formats that suit your testing requirements. The next is data volume. Generate large datasets quickly and efficiently by ChatGPT, enable rigorous testing under various conditions. Yeah, and the next step is anomaly and edge cases. You can test the robustness of your system by incorporating outline and edge cases in the generated data. Data transformation is if you need transformed data, such as normalization or scaling, chat can generate it accordingly. And the next one, it's like a point from developers. ChatGPT, as developer says, chat can guarantee that the data granted for testing purposes is synthetic and doesn't compromise any sensitive information. Yeah. Here's an example of generating test data. Everyone who has users and admins or some such like users on their project had to face imagine names and fill in boring JSON files or any format files, it doesn't matter. So chat can help you with it and take away routine from your work. Just send requirements for all you need, like fields, password requirements, names requirements, how you see it. And here it is. There will be no more monotonous work. Okay, let's move to generating BDD scenario, but GPT chat by GPT chat. Test cases are a part of our lives, regardless of the field we work in. Most of us are familiar with the reality of test cases. When it comes to be automated writing of BDD scenarios, there are a great deal of debate. Yeah, on one hand, some people say it's the worst thing they have faced. Yeah, it's really people that I heard. They argue that it removes the human elements that are critical to understanding the behavior of a system and that can lead to overlooking certain aspects that automated scripts might not catch. And on the other hand, there are those who vehemently defend the usage of automated writing for BDD scenarios. They argue that it's a fantastic tool that can save a lot of time. It's efficient, it's effective, and it allows for a level of consistency that may be hard to achieve manually. Our main focus, however, isn't on choose a side, but rather on finding a way to best use the chat to make our lives easier. Yeah, we aim to utilize AI and computational capabilities to simplify complex tasks, automate repetitive works, and enhance productivity. This might be in form of scheduling, task assignment, reminders, or any other tools that we can use. So how it will be? To efficiently develop a BDD scenario script, a few elements are necessary. Initially, use your framework as a reference. If it's restricted by an NDA, just rephrase your code or your string, this is required because certain people prefer when I, while others use when user, or something like this, or just without any subjects. The churches are as diverse as the project out there. Unfortunately, the chat lacks knowledge about your framework operation, hence the need for clarity. The second step is to make use of manual scenario, adding or subtracting potential steps that you consider might confuse the chat. For instance, eliminate the step stating user on the page if necessary. So if you don't use steps like now user present on the page, but in manual scenario it's present, just move it from your message to ChatGPT, because ChatGPT doesn't understand that it shouldn't be on answer, and it add it in his answer. Thirdly, incorporate a few examples that correlate with the steps you already have, complementing your future design and so forth. At this point, you can utilize the ChatGPT scenario to a test scenario creator. However, one must remain vigilant. The chat might not always grasp your idea. Yeah. The next topic is coding. Yeah, in automation testing, we're all coding, and sometimes it's difficult, sometimes it's routine, but we have it. So ChatGPT is a powerful tool when applied to coding, as it essentially acts like a search system. The beauty of it is that you are not limited only to predefined code snippets or libraries. You can describe what kind of method, class, or interfaces, or something something that you want image to ChatGPT, and the AI system generates it for you. Let's say, for instance, you want a function that checks the current date. you can simply write a prompt stating that you want a method that verifies the date using TypeScript and specifies that utils, promise, and waiters. Yeah, so everything that you used, language, what type maybe language, what version, what libraries that you want to use, you have to explain it to ChatGPT. Yeah. ChatGPT takes your brief description and quickly generates the needed code. After this code is generated, you can add it directly to your framework. Whether you are working on an agile structure or building an expensive system, ChatGPT fits seamlessly into your process. It can be a real game changer for developers or for automated testers, or I guess for everyone who worked with code writer. Yeah. Contributing to high quality code and more efficient coding process. But not everything's so simple, yeah. Next step. I present ChatGPT with a little challenge. I ask it to refactor the method that I generated earlier, but I say that it is my method. The AI took on the task and provided me with an updated version of the method. Thought it was written a bit differently. I noticed that the refactored code was more structured and clean. This makes it even easier to integrate into our exciting framework and maintain a high-quality code base. In essence, ChatGPT served as a highly efficient coding assist. Not only can it generate code based on a prompt, it can also refactor exciting code to make it cleaner and possibly more efficient. In conclusion, we can utilize GPT chat as a faster alternative to traditional search methods for coding solutions. Yeah. By providing clear and detailed prompts, we can entrust it with the heavy lifting of generation and refactoring code. This significantly reduces the time spent on coding and debugging, allowing us to focus more on innovation and designing the roadmap of our project. Therefore, let's harness the potential of this tool and incorporate it into our coding workflow, making the most of the benefit it offers. So all of this part, it's just about saving your time. So now let's talk about XPath. It's inevitable as long as we involved in web testing, XPath will always be involved. It's often a routine task that we find ourselves repeating quite frequently. Yeah, everyone who in web testing, or not only in this, using XPath's finding of this, typing it in DevTools, so ChatGPT can help with it. However, it's precisely because of the routine nature that ChatGPT can be incredibly useful. It can generate XPath based on the given prompts, making it a real time saver in the early stages of the project. Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry, it's just scrolling. Creating new XPaths by GPT chat can be useful for a project with just started. If it's a new feature that needs to be covered, and also to rewrite the old XPath. So for all occasion, this list, it's like ChatGPT can help with everything from this part. If it's new projects that need to be covered, like many pages, many new tools, new features, so it can save your time, save you from routine work. So the first thing that you need to do is open your page, of course. Find the parent element of the locators or locator for which you have to create XPath. Copy the nearest parent element and move to step number 2. The second thing you need to do is clean up your HTML from styles and other CSS attributes. You can do this with your own script, like just write it, so simple. Or an online tool like the first link on Google. Clean text, clean HTML, online text editor, something like this. It's so simple to find it. Yeah. This is necessary to reduce the number of characters, tokens. There are restrictions of the size of the text in the chat. If you send a large text to ChatGPT, it just cannot to like eat our prompt and just it could be a little text, step by step, you know. And as a result, you should get a poor HTML as shown here. Yeah, now here we have styles. We can have here is links or image. It cannot be here. It's just poor code. The next step is after you get your poor code, ask chat for generate XPath. Generate unique, like my prompt, it was generate unique XPath for service button and careers button in the headbar from this HTML using classes. It's my it's my advice, and contains from your code. Why I am using button or head bar? Yeah, if ChatGPT is a genius tool, so it have to understand you from first word. No. To explain what exactly you want from chat, button, head bar, slide bar, it doesn't matter. It can find more quickly and give you some clean answer. Give you clean answer. Yeah, and now after I sent this message with HTML, I get answer from chat. Yeah, it's that's all that I asked from it. It used class, it used contains, so everything okay. And check your result after this. You can do it not for 2 XPaths, two locators. It could be more, like maybe 10, I don't know. And after this, check it on DevTools. And if it's suited for you, for your framework, just use it and use it again and again. And it saves your time and your nervous. Thank you for your attention. Now is a Q&A session. Yeah. Irina, are you here? Yeah. Where is our... Sounds interesting. So waiting for our... Yeah, maybe you can write it in the chat, our questions, and I will answer in it. Yeah, as I see, the question in the chat is How much time I'm saving with ChatGPT? GPT-4, yeah. Actually, I can say that
I'm here.
yeah. Hello. I just started to answer the questions and
Yeah, what question you're answering? Sorry, I got some issues with my work.
yeah. How much time do you save with ChatGPT-4?
Yes,
Yeah.
and okay.
Yeah,
How much
and
time? How much
my
time?
answer is I save it, I guess, maybe 15% or 20% of my time. Yeah, it's searching, it's is creating methods, it's asking from ChatGPT, is rewrite prompts, it's include rewrite prompts. So it's saving my times a lot, I guess.
Thank you. We have another question. Okay, it's related to first one. You already answered for it. What's push HTML used for? Are you providing entire HTML or are you sharing application URL to get locator of a web elements?
Mm, I get locators from page. I don't use any other tools for this. I just go to my pages, my project pages, and copy or like this elements and send to it to ChatGPT.
Okay, thank you. I'm trying to check, do we have other questions in our VR community? Okay, I don't see here questions. Let's monitor it. And yeah, I see another one. Can you check? Okay, previous question. Yeah, I see a lot of questions. Okay, let me. Do you use EPAM Dial AI portal or some other site?
I reporter? No.
Yeah,
I haven't used it before. Uh, we don't need it in our project because one project is one specific framework, one specific tools, and in my experience, I just don't need it. But I try it somewhere, but not in general.
Okay, we have another question. What is maximum length of your prompts?
Okay, in ChatGPT, it could be, it work like all chat. It's tokens that you send to it. As I remember, 8,000 before updating. But not all these 8,000 you can send to ChatGPT with one prompt. It should be like maybe 2,000 tokens, yeah, because ChatGPT, all these tokens, all this 8,000, it for all your chat. When you get upper like 8,000 tokens and you step out there, ChatGPT forgot that you write before and just rewrite your this our message between us. So in ChatGPT, it's not uh, right questions like what count of characters. Maybe 4,000 characters. It could be normal for prompts for XPath. If it's for message, try to use short message with clear prompt.
Thank you for your answer. Let me read the next question. Yeah, that's additional question for first one that asked about AI portal. And here's the additional question. What tools do you use, if not this one?
AI portal. I don't understand this previous question.
Portal,
Yeah. I have experience with AI tools for generating XPath. It's so comfortable. Use OpenAI, but for one-time task, for analyzing something like large text, for example, or that don't need to explain what exactly we need. So one big answer for maybe 7,000 tokens or 16, yeah, what type of what type of base you used, like GPT chat 4, GPT chat 3, or GPT chat 16K database. So model. So it depends.
Okay, thank you. And next question. I'll open it. Okay. One moment. The next, do you have some repository where you share your prompts?
Actually, no. This presentation will be shared. Yeah. As I know. Oh no.
No, it will
No.
not.
But you can maybe rewatch this meeting, this event, and see. I haven't any repositories that I shared my prompts or my results, but it's a good idea to create it after this question. Thank you for your idea.
Okay, thank you. And how you debug your prompts?
It just try twice, sort. So my prompts, it's my image in my brain. So I create the question. The chat GPT answered to me. It's not sweet to me, and I just rewrite or start a new chat, because when you explain in the one chat one more time and one more time, it just not sweet for you and for chat. Just start new one, and it's like debugging is trying new one and find what's suit for you. So there is my answer. Thank you.
Okay, yes, thank you. And the next question, we have a lot of questions.
Oh, yeah, it's
Yes.
nice.
What methods do you use to improve your prompts?
To improve my prompts, I use that I send my prompts to ChatGPT, and I get answers that I not that I not want, and after that I just rewrite this, and if it's not sweet with for me and for my framework, I just send it a little prompt with a simple example. Yeah, and after this chat can understand me better, and now our talk will continue.
Okay, thank you. And you already answered yes. How much time do you save with ChatGPT?
Yeah. It was first question.
Yeah, okay, next question in our portal. How would you generate a bit amount of records using the GPT? Because it probably has some token limit, if I understand correctly. Thank you.
Can you repeat the first? I can hear it clearly.
How would you generate a bit amount of records using the GPT? because it probably has some token limit, if I understand correctly.
Yeah, it has a token limit. If it's a big text that you want to send, just uh, cut it for two parts and ask ChatGPT don't answer me before I asked you, and send it by parts, like three parts. So it doesn't matter, but don't use more than four, because ChatGPT will be confused and forgot your first message. It's for ChatGPT. If you will use OpenAI API, just it it cannot be resolved because it cannot be more. So just 8,000 tokens for your prompt and for each answer. Yeah. So remember about this.
Thank you. We have another question.
Yeah. Thank you.
Is it possible to use ChatGPT on a project for a test case in BDD or generation of XPath, and does it violate the security policy?
Yeah, why not? I guess if your test case it doesn't contains any security information like passwords, URL maybe, or something sensitive information, you can send it to ChatGPT and it get answer back. But remember that you can always rewrite this sensitive information, like in general, and it couldn't be by NDA, and I guess it could help you to save your time and um, using ChatGPT for this task.
Okay, thank you. Let me check other portals. And if you have questions, please write them and I will check. Do you have another questions? Maybe I missed something. Okay, I don't see other questions. Yeah, and see in our YouTube comments. Okay, thank you, Daria, very much. It was very interesting tech talk, and also it was very interesting Q&A session. There was a lot of questions. You perfectly answered for them. Thank you very much. Thank you that you agreed to participate with such interesting topic.
Yes, thank you to everyone for your attention, for joining. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Please send badges to Daria for this great talk. I see a lot of thank you words in the chat, and please send badges. Thank you, Daria.
I
Thank
will
you.
appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Okay, and we are continue our conference. Let me again share our gift from QAHub, our content that we have. Let me share my screen. One moment, and then I will give word to our next speaker. Okay, share screen, and yes. You again now will see our partners. Yes, I'm again saying that we have our new community. Please follow this QAHub Armenia, and also our partners, Global Testing Community, QA Community, Business Analysis Community, and NGX Community. And about our gift from QAHub, please scan the following QR code, follow us on Instagram, post a photo how you watching our conference, tag us, post accepted till the end of this conference. Your profile should be public, and close friends sharing is excluded. There will be 3 winners that will receive 5 points, QAHub points, and for all participants will be 1 point. All points now you can change after for other prizes. Okay, and now I want to give word to Valeria. Today, hello Valeria.
Hello.
Today Valeria will talk about AR our virtual reality. It's very interesting.
Augmented reality, yeah.
Yeah. I used it one time somewhere, I don't know where, and like when you said the topic that you will talk, I was really surprised because I didn't know how to test it, but I don't know how to use it. And yeah, please talk. It's very interesting topic.
Yeah, we will be focusing on designing these apps, especially like for users like you, how to
Yeah.
how to provide a good user experience. So let me try to share my screen. I started sharing. Is something okay? I see that something is loading.
It's loading, yes, and I don't see it now. Okay, I see it.
Great.
Mhm.
So let me start my talk. So we will talk about augmented reality in retail, how to design this augmented reality solution for success. Let's start. I'd like to share a bit more about my journey and my involvement in the augmented reality research and innovation. In my experience, I explored augmented reality impact on consumer behavior and automated retail processes. I crafted an augmented reality solution for B2B operations, which boosted efficiency. And I worked on AR ideas for retail and e-commerce challenges. So today I'm thrilled to explore AR's horizons with you. So let's start. We will be exploring some aspects of augmented reality. Our journey kicks off with a foundation, understanding the context of augmented reality. Next, we dive into AR's impact on consumers. And next, we will delve into the practical adoption of augmented reality by staff users. We will explore how it enhances their daily tasks and operations. So let's move on to the context part. So how augmented reality works? Everything starts with like it's just a context, like just to provide you some context. So everything starts with scene capturing. AR systems start by capturing the real-world environment using various sensors such as cameras, GPS, internal sensors which are in the phone or in the array device. These sensors collect information about the user's surroundings, their location, movement, orientation, and the objects which are present in the environment. Next is scene processing. So this collected sensor data will be processed by augmented reality software or application, or maybe somewhere in servers. It involves interpreting the data to understand the user's context, the position of objects which are in the real world, and the user's perspective. And we will continue. And after that, this scene what was generated, it will be visualized. And augmented reality system will overlay digital content onto the user view. So not really difficult, but it's like a simplified version of how it works. And why it's important to talk about augmented reality. According to a report by Fortune Business Insights, the global augmented reality market size was valued at 42 billion in 2022, and is projected to grow from 62 billion to more than 1,000 billion by 2030. The focus is on small and medium enterprises, which will be adopting this technology to sustain high competition in the market by enhancing customer experience. Not only customer, we will talk also about like staff user experience, but still, this is this is the trend. Okay, so what are our main domains where our augmented reality can be implemented, can be applied? So healthcare domain is one of the main domains is healthcare. And augmented reality is used here for simulating surgeries and procedures. It's also used for visualizing medical images in real time during surgeries. The next domain is manufacturing and industry. So in this domain, augmented reality can assist workers with real-time instructions and information which will overlay and which will be provided for them during complex tasks, and it will improve their efficiency and reducing errors. And the domain which we will be talking about is retail and e-commerce. AR is mainly used here for virtual try-ons, product visualization, and interactive shopping experience. Some of the solutions you may try it already, and it allowing customers to see how products will look before purchasing. Why I choose this domain because I had experience in it, like first, but also many of the features and benefits of augmented reality will find application in the retail and e-commerce domains. So we can talk about retail and e-commerce solutions, but still you will have a complete overview on which processes can be automated and what can be provided for consumers, for example. To provide you with a comprehensive understanding, we will be exploring two cases. So the first case is augmented reality for consumers, and the second case is augmented reality for enterprise. In our first case, we will dive into how augmented reality is transforming the online shopping experience. And in our second case, we will shift our focus to the enterprise environment. So by the end of the session, you will have a clear picture of the benefits that augmented reality brings to both consumers, like online shoppers, and businesses. Let's start with the first case. So let me provide you a quick overview of what solutions for consumers can be used. And in this segment, we will explore the innovative solution that AR brings to the world of consumers, online shoppers. And you can see here that it can be virtual try-on solutions, different decor and product visualizations. In-store navigation is also a really interesting area. Assistance, different assistants, and advertising. I think these are the main cases of how our consumers, our online shoppers, can interact with augmented reality solutions in this domain. And also, of course, like educations, onboardings, and so on. So who will be our early adopters in designing the solutions? So our early adopters have a keen sense of curiosity and a passion for exploring the possibilities that augmented reality brings to various aspects of their life. So they know how to use augmented reality, they interacted with it already, and they have a willingness to take it in their lives. Yeah. So in the following slides, you can see here there are the main groups of early adopters. It can be tech enthusiasts, creative professionals like graphic designers. So you can see social media influencers and just entertainment seekers. It's mostly like teenagers or maybe kids. So in the following slides, we will dive deeper into how Michael, as a tech-savvy graphic designer, is leveraging augmented reality technology for his shopping experience. So he knows how to use augmented reality technology, and this is our persona. This is our user who we develop our solutions for. So you can see here that Michael wants to visualize the purchases purchases, and he wants to share experiences. And Michael finds it frustrating when augmented reality applications have a complex or unintuitive user interface that hinders his shopping experience. And he wants accurate and realistic visualizations of potential purchases to make informed decisions. So our main goal while we designing the solutions, while we trying to identify our end users' needs, is to keep this developing an intuitive and user-friendly augmented reality shopping app that provides seamless integration of products into Michael's living space. So we should focus on quality content, on community recognition of our contributors. It should have user-friendly interface, and it should just have really good user experience, because Michael has already used some applications, and we need to attract him to our application. We need to make him our contributor. While designing and while developing the solution, we won't talk a lot with Michael as our end user, but we will have some customers from business side, so who will be representing Michael's needs. So who are the stakeholders who will be impacted by this augmented reality solution in this case? From a business perspective, Michael's interest in using augmented reality technology is typically represented by individuals or roles that are responsible for innovation, customer experience, and strategic planning. Here are some key stakeholders who might advocate for the integration of augmented reality technology within a business. So most of them are somehow connected with the product, or it may be innovation teams. So these people also know augmented reality technology, so it will be easier to explain them what values it can bring. So yeah, most of the people who are stakeholders here, we know the technology. So what do stakeholders consider to be a value in the augmented reality case? When we try to deliver augmented reality solution to our end users. So some tangible values can be return of investment and data collection and insights. As you remember, when we discussed how augmented reality works, it gathers a lot of data while processing, and so a lot of sensor data, like GPS data, so big amount of data. And when we attract new users, we gather in this data, so we have more insights into our business. But yeah, I can provide some links if you want to see how we can measure return of investments and what KPIs should be applied in this case. But I will focus more on intangible values here. So our intangible values are user willingness to buy, user satisfaction, willingness to share, customer feelings, and brand feelings. As you can see, they are quite difficult to measure. So we can just ask what you feel to our brand. Yeah, we can of course, but how we can measure it more indirectly without communicating, without just asking how do you feel? What do you feel about our brand? Because the answer can be not really trustworthy. Yeah, so nobody will say to you that it's bad. I don't want to use it in your face. So while developing the application, how we can we affect these values? As you remember, Michael also has a need to have a really great user experience in this app, and also Fortunately, we have a lot of researches that user experience has direct influence on these intangible values, which are marketing values. So the answer is simple through creating great augmented reality user experience. So if we will improve user experience, how users, the quality of our content, and how easy user can interact with objects, we can also say that by improving it, we will also improving our marketing KPIs. So let's take a look on tips how to create this augmented reality user experience. So what to measure in this case? You can just measure, like you need to understand what to measure when you try to measure user experience. And there are 3 parameters what can be measured. Augmented reality technology enhances convenience value by reducing cognitive effort. By cognitive effort, it means like how we can control our app, how we feel ourselves in our app, what is about our surroundings, how comfortable we feel ourselves. So we can we can enhance convenience value by reducing cognitive effort. So it will allow users to seamlessly integrate digital content into their real-world environment. So by improving quality of content, by improving our sensor data, our processing of sensor data, and so on. Additionally, the another component is hedonic value, and it's measured through factors like escapism, entertainment, and playfulness. So we want to ask our users, do you have any hedonic value from our? We will ask how playful is it. We can measure some entertainment data. So basically, through these like factors, we can improve our hedonic value, and it's like another component of our user experience. And so, yeah, augmented reality experience transports users to imaginative and interactive, to another world, like to augmented reality world. So it's quite an important component. And another component here is experiential value. So it's delivered through service excellence experience and aesthetics. Okay, again, we can also measure like service excellence and aesthetics. I will talk a bit later about how we can measure it. So augmented reality can be personalized, and it can improve the overall customer experience. So let's move on how we can measure this component. There's it's quite common solutions, like we can do it through surveys and questionnaires. The benefit of this ways that we can collect data, that we can track it through the time. We can also conduct focus group testing. So what we can measure here is task execution speed, because while we conducting surveys and questions, if they are without facilitator, it means that we don't interact with users face to face. But when we conduct focus groups, usually we can see how they processing our tasks, what we provided to them, and we can measure task execution speed, and we can understand also how convenient it is for real user to use the application by observation. And compatibility testing is the type of testing which can be conducted without any users. It's just to test features and applications of target operating systems, platforms, and devices. So basically, we will test features in our target operation systems and understand how different is it, and how we can adjust this user experience. So main lesson learned that could be applied while you're designing your user experience, while you're designing your augmented reality application. So focus on user needs, because augmented reality market is changing rapidly. So it's really important to truly know your user. And by understanding their needs, preferences, and pain points, business can tailor augmented reality solutions that provide real value. Another crucial lesson here is in the development of augmented reality user experiences. It's essential to identify and track the various components that contribute to the user experience. Okay, so let's move on to the next case. So when we design our augmented reality solution for enterprise, we should choose the right design process. And this is the screenshot from the research. Korea Research, this is a company who is specialized in enterprise augmented reality solution. So every process, every augmented reality project should begin with identification a clear business need, not the user need, but business need in the enterprise case. And use cases are defined within the context of the needs, and the team then defines the user requirements. After that, the developers team works with team members to determine the best augmented reality presentation device. And finally, once the augmented reality presentation system is defined, the developer works with the technology constraints of the chosen system to design the optimal user experience. So this is the correct flow. Let me introduce the primary user groups who will interact with our augmented reality solutions designed to enhance internal retail processes, internal enterprise processes. So it can be supply chain and logistics teams, store staff and associates, visual merchandisers, and maintenance and repair department, representative for the department. And our Sarah is a 30 years old store operation manager, and she represents a key user persona in our retail environments. As a manager, she is responsible for overseeing store operations, and Sarah really values efficiency, accuracy, and seamless processes. While she is not tech-savvy, as was Michael, her dedication to her role makes her receptive for innovations that simplify tasks and enhance overall store performance. She may not be the initiator of this augmented reality implementation, but she will be a supporter at the beginning. Why I said in the beginning, because this is the main challenge in the enterprise case. Okay, so this is the main challenge in enterprise case. So augmented reality adoption is facing workers' lack of confidence and acceptance. So they do not experience benefits from augmented reality use immediately or consistently right after implementation. So they may be, after initially being curious about the use of augmented reality, they become resistant when it was implemented. Let's put ourselves in Sarah's shoes. As a store operation manager, she values efficiency and a seamless workflow. That's why she decided to, that's why she supported the augmented reality transformation. But for Sarah, augmented reality might seem like an additional layer of complexity initially, especially if its benefits aren't clear from the outset. So how we can deal with it? We can educate and bring awareness to our internal staff to provide them that it's cool, it's really cool. Like you can enhance your operations. We should also provide should allow our users to practice in control settings. So it means that we should discuss with managers to, like, it will be our their working hours here. So we need to somehow provide them with opportunity that they really need to practice in control settings. They should be paid for it and so on. So this is another thing. And we should involve our end users in the design stage. They may be represented by managers, but usually managers aren't the people who operates like Yahoo, so who are really involved in these processes. So they have their unique view on the process, but process can be different. So this is another solution here is to really engage end users who will use your devices. Yeah, as I said, there will be some stakeholders for augmented reality solutions, and you can see most of them are different managers. So they will be initiators of this initiative, and while you're designing something, you will be talking with them, you will be providing them reports. So for them, maybe everything will be really great, and everything will be really interesting, and they will be really interesting because they have some different values from the end users. And they expect the augmented reality solution to deliver employee satisfaction, productivity, enhanced operational efficiency, enhanced training and onboarding, and cost savings. So the challenge here is to manage their expectations, because software and hardware for augmented reality is still very expensive. Managers are not willing to invest as much in software and hardware, in augmented reality software and hardware, because it's still rapidly evolving. Also, for a variety of reasons, the use of augmented reality is not applicable to all projects and processes. So there are a lot of cases when it was implemented to the process, which was captured incorrectly, or somehow it won't help the process. So should avoid these situations. And also, the manager team wants to see scalable projects in order to invest fully in augmented reality, because processes can vary from the location to location and so on, but from the store to the store. But they want to see how augmented reality can be scalable for all sites they have. Moreover, it's difficult to find IT staff which is specialized in the design of new digital processes and content for augmented reality technology. So what we can do, how we can support them with their expectations. We can observe augmented reality market trends and search for relevant offers. For example, we can reduce cost for IT staff, or maybe if somebody has implemented the same solution as we wanted implemented, maybe we can just reuse it or buy it from the competitor. We should review processes because, as I said that it should allow us, with augmented reality customization, should allow end users use this customization for all sites without need of customizations for each location, for each site, for each store. And once close competitors have implemented augmented reality technology, we should provide information about it. We should bring awareness to the managers and say that your competitor, he implemented it, and you should also provide us more money to the project. You should expand project cost, because we should compete with. We should be competitive in the market. We should stay competitive in the market. So what solutions I'm talking about? It can be inventory management. It can be product placement and visual merchandising. It can be different product real-time information and details, and also training and onboarding. So the main thing here is that in these cases, when we are developing, when we develop solution, when we develop augmented reality solutions for consumers, for online shoppers, our target device is, for example, mobile device, or it can be tablet or something like this. But in this case, our target device, which will where our application will be set, so it will be augmented reality smart glasses. So let's look at these opportunities. So augmented reality smart glasses opportunities. There are some main smart glasses opportunities, which are really needed by enterprise. So the first opportunity is hands-free interaction. So our workers can have their hands fully free, so they can interact with different objects, and they can, for example, like making reports, or maybe like providing any operations with different stuff. Yeah. So another opportunity here is a real-time information overlay. So you do not need to update something or like scan something to get new information, yeah, because it will be overlaid in your view. But these opportunities go along with limitations. So when we're talking about hands-free interaction opportunity, there is the main question how to control the device, because we can use touch, we can use touch controls, we can use hand gesture controls, we can use mouse controls, of course. So there are two ways, like right now, to provide these controls to our users. It's via voice command control and automation check-ins. I think the last one is better, because voices can be different, yeah, and it's really like, and there can be a lot of background noise, and it will be a bit it's not really applicable right now in the workplace, because we just don't have the right surroundings. But automation check-in, like triggers can be, for example, different images, because we have a camera in such devices, or it can be QR codes, or maybe it may be some places which will be recognized, and after recognizing this trigger, the screen can be changed, the data can be changed, so it can be also barcode, for example, yeah. So the data will be changed, and user will have this real-time information in his view, and he don't need to use any, there is no need to control it. Of course, he can control it in some rare cases, but still, to be fully automated. And if we are talking about real-time information overlay, if we decided to use augmented reality devices, they are still quite expensive. And it's really important to choose the right augmented reality presentation device while designing your solution. Some companies provide like trial period for where we can send it to you if you request, and you can try, but there are a lot of limitations for it. While choosing, you should compare different devices by the following parameters, like operational system, data formats and protocols, application supported. These first three parameters usually are proprietary. So it means that only this device will use this system. So they created the special system for this device, the special data formats. And you can't, for example, install a new application in this device. Even such cases can be exist. Other considerations should be that could arise are battery volume, usage limitations, and cost. Battery is also is paired with augmented battery is also paired with smart glasses. So talking about usage limitations, it's more about heat, or maybe it should be protected, additionally protected if you are, for example, in manufacturing industry, and these glasses will be also needed to protect your eyes from different, from dust, yeah, for example. And also the cost is quite an important factor. So lessons learned. You should start with identifying business needs. This involves engaging stakeholders like Sarah to gather insights that guides the solution development. Also, it's important to manage business expectation. Communicating the solution capabilities, timelines, and potential limitation to the stakeholders ensures alignment and minimizes misunderstandings. Also, the best framework for developing such innovative solutions is Agile, of course, and because we can adjust costs, we can adjust timelines and so on. Depending on the, of course, we can just get new features, but still we can adjust a lot of factors. And technical restrictions are part of any implementations. So maybe they just new in the augmented reality technology, in the augmented reality apps case. So being prepared for these limitations, whether they involve hardware, software, or connectivity, allows us to find workarounds and manage potential setbacks. I think that's all. That's all I wanted to share with you. So thank you for your time.
Thank you for your great presentation, Alicia. It was really great. And let's move to Q&A session. In the life of QA, what is the role of AR? Sorry, in the life of QA.
Okay, so basically, there are more devices for you. I know, but for example, for compatibility testing, you should also there may be new operational systems if we are talking about new devices. Yeah, so basically it's like a new domain, I think, for QAs. We this augmented reality technology is just a new domain, and even, for example, when we create requirements, somebody should be a person who will validate them somehow to, before, for example, hiring the development team or something, it may be different. It can be different teams. So maybe the QA person will be somebody who will say that it can be implemented. Yeah. So we should change this flow, this use case, and so on. So basically, I think it's just a new domain. It's just for QAs also.
Thank you. And we have one thank you word. Can you hear me? Yes. We have one word. Thanks for excellent presentation, full of new exciting researches and use cases to be considered by AR, VR companies and develop new products using the technology. And question, what kind of new trends do you see in AR and VR industry? What it will be look like in 5-10 years?
Honestly, my favorite one, when we talked about, I'm not sure that I can go back, but still, when we talked about domains, I showed you the healthcare domain, and I think this one is the most. This one has the biggest potential in these cases, and it will be paired with 5G technology development, because we can really provide assistance. We can bring specialists who are really rare, and we can bring their expertise to the operations, to the surgeries, just with the capabilities of augmented reality technology. So I think this domain will have the biggest will grow in the recent times. So healthcare domain, and I think the main trend will be here because it will be paired with 5G technology, hope so. And our life will be better in this case.
Okay, thank you for your answer. Please write down your questions in the chat. We are waiting for your questions. And also, please send badges to Valeria for such great talk. Yes, and I don't see other comments. Yeah, I want again thank you for such great presentation. Thank you that you accept the participation here. Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure to participate in this presentation, and I understand that it's not really like a QA topic maybe, but still it's like a new domain and you should be aware about it because you will be the person who will face these challenges in the future, like who will struggle with, maybe if you will be working in this project, you will be struggling with the same challenges, because usually VAs working really really close with QA specialists, and we understand how we should understand how to process user feedback and so on. So thank you a lot, and I hope it was insightful for you.
Yeah, it was very interesting and actual for us too, for case. Thank you. Thank you, Valeria. Have a great day. Thank you. And we're moving for our next speaker. Hello, Sergey. Yes.
Hi. Hello, everyone.
Hello. Okay, so hear my echo? Oh, no, not. Okay, welcome to our conference and Sergey's topic about career of IT specialist, especially QA manager, Scrum Master, and give word to you.
Okay, thank you, team. So today I'll tell you about my career path and some examples from my career and some, potential ways of your career and my as well. So my name is Sergey. I'm software testing team leader, and I'm already 9 years in IT sphere. I started my career as a junior tester, and I have experience in travel, insurance, social, and healthcare domains. And I played role of testing lead, project coordinator, and scrum master. So, and let's go through the agenda of this meeting. And so first we will speak about possible ways of your career, then we will speak about project and non-project contribution and how it will help you in future, and how you can start acting as Scrum Master, and then we finish with Q&A session. So there are different ways to develop yourself professionally, of course, if you want it. But I can tell you about some automation QA and QA architects. But I know a lot about ways to management. And let's talk a bit more detailed about managerial roles that you can play in future, or maybe you can switch your role to some another. So here is on the screen you see main 5 managerial roles in every company, and if you have a great experience in some of domain and you feel that you can share this experience, and then my advice for you is to watch more closely to the product management. As far as I know, BAs are often becoming product managers, but who knows, maybe you will be an amazing product manager as well. And also want to add that you can go to the product management after you think that, for example, Scrum Mastering for you is too boring and you want to change something and try something new. And if you like to help others and grow talents, my advice for you to watch more closely to resource management. Maybe you don't have such role in your company, but in many companies, resource managers are playing the important role in the organizational structure. So who is the resource manager? It is a man who helps to grow people. In comparison for project managers, resource manager helps to grow in company, not on the project. And also resource manager helps to find some projects, and do all work inside the company, not on the project. So let's switch to the next. If you have a big experience in sales and working with budgets, my advice for you is watch more closely to the account management. It's also very interesting sphere, but as I said, you need a lot of experience in sales and some working with budget. So, but if you have some great technical experience and know how to build the delivery process from the start to the end, my advice to watch more closely to delivery management. It's also a similar, I can say that's a similar role as Scrum Master, because delivery managers and Scrum Masters are working together on the ways to deliver good product. But yeah, for delivery manager, you need some technical experience as well. But if you like to manage projects and budgets, my advice to you, watch more closely to the product management. And you don't need some specific technical skills for being a project manager, but in any case, you should know how to build great processes on the project, but without some hard skills, I think. So, if you are interested in what I have said about these managerial roles, feel free to ask your questions in the end of the meetings, and I'll try to make some answers more detailed. And let's switch to the next topic. It is project and non-project contribution, and why it is very important in your future professional growth. So I have been worked on various projects from the very beginning of my career path. I have understood that the more experience in different areas and domains I'll get, the more exciting possibilities and ways to develop myself I'll get in the future. I was interested and excited to get challenging tasks, to develop my professional skills, and to know more about the domain specific and work and communicate with a bigger amount of people. So if you want to grow to management, if you want to grow to Scrum Masters, so first of all, you don't afraid to take more the responsibility. I can give you example from my career. So on one of the past projects, maybe 7 years ago, it was project with Irish customer. I asked to contribute in holding demo session because everybody is scared about it, but I think I thought, and I think now that I have great communication skills, and I decided, yeah, I can do demo for customer. It's not a big deal for me. And on another project, our project coordinator left the team, and I decided that I would like to try myself and play in this role. So I was combining the role of project coordinator and testing team lead. And yeah, before this, I passed some trainings about management, about project coordination. I developed my skills, and yeah, it helped me to start my career in project coordination. So next step in development to Scrum Masters and managers, you need to develop your skills from day to day. So you need to ask your managers for some mentoring programs, for maybe you can develop by yourself with some LinkedIn trainings or trainings inside your company. And next step is also you need to try some new roles in different areas. So, for example, that two projects shown me that I'm extremely interested in managing and working more closely with people, and they're giving me positive emotions, and great wish to work and develop myself in these areas. And as a result, I became a test manager on Test.io platform, and it was a big step in the new life within my IT career. So, but let's speak a little bit about non-project contribution. So I've also contributed a lot in some non-project activities. It gave me a lot in developing my hard and soft skills. Non-project contribution allows you to participate in different activities and try yourself in playing new unknown roles. And so if you never got the experience in something, but you were interested for it, non-project activities are the best place to start it. So I would also like to mention that if there are no activities mentioned on this slide, which you can see now in your company, you can be the first who can start it. And it will definitely bring you to the success. And few words about non-project activities that I was participating in. Just an example. So, for example, you can see on the screen mentoring programs, assessment sessions, and interview sessions. So all of this allows you to remember what you have forgotten and teach new specialists or check the professional knowledge of your colleagues and help them to grow professionally, and also give some feedback for them, and also to build some networking. And some contribution to charity program allows to get experience in playing new roles or developing in already known roles to make the world better. Yeah. For example, in Belarus, in Gomel, I created a hackathon on social topics, and we developed 3 applications on social topics. And after creation of these 3 projects, I started my career in Scrum Mastering, because in this charity project, it was non-billable. It is not non-production project. For me, it was just like a training position of Scrum Master, and it was great opportunity for me to change my career from tester to Scrum Master. And also communities. It's very good thing that you already see. This all conferences and participation in community allows you to find professional connections from with people and with similar interests, and share some knowledge, create professional networks, and collaborate with already existing communities. For example, I'm community coordinator of NGX Georgia community, and we are in great collaboration with QAHub. And if you don't have any communities in your organization, you can be the one who can start it. We have great platform via community platform, so you can create any community. It's not only some professional community. You can create some non-project community, for example, for traveling with your colleagues, or maybe for some playing football or some another sports games. It's also great. And of course, offline events allows you to communicate with real people and not just the picture on the screen, and discuss some different professional topics on offline events, and you can give feedback and see people emotions. So want to say once again that project and non-project contribution, it's very important in your professional growth, because you can try something new. You can try different roles that you didn't play before. and you can meet some people that can change your career. Yeah. And here is some photos from our communities in Belarus and in Georgia. And yeah, it's really interesting, and we can meet and discuss interesting topics. And please start to trying something new. But let's switch to the next slide about Scrum Mastering. If you know that you have enough and you have good soft skills and you like communication, you can try yourself in being Scrum Master. It's a very interesting role. It's for me interesting, but I think for you guys as well. The most easy way to start your professional career in Scrum Mastering is to join some courses or trainings to get more knowledge and some information about this role. But if there are no specific SM courses in your company, you can use scrum.org, where you can find Scrum guide and check your SM knowledge by passing the Scrum assessment. But about Scrum assessment, we will speak a little bit later. There are also useful SM trainings you can find on LinkedIn. And would like to pay attention that Scrum, it's not only, yes, it is the most popular agile framework, but it's not it's we have some another. For example, one of the interesting and popular framework, it is SAFe. SAFe, it is a scaled agile framework, and it is popular methodology now, and you can try yourself in it as well. And SAFe, it is Scrum for big teams. For example, if you have 20, 30, 50 Scrum teams, it's very hard to manage them, because for each stream, you need some delivery process. But SAFe, it is about how to build delivery process for big amount of teams, how to plan not only for one sprint, but for 10 sprints, for 20 sprints, and how to deliver this big amount of applications in one day, for example. Yeah. And after passing the Scrum assessment, for example, on scrum.org, you can also pass the certification, and it is paid. And after passing, you will get the endless certificate and became certified Scrum Master. There are different levels of certificates, and the price for passing them is different according to the level which was chosen. But let's speak a little bit about what is a Scrum. Scrum, as you know, it is a methodology. It is agile methodology, and if you share this, for example, agile manifesto, and if you can see that, yeah, every 12 principles of agile is you can distribute with your colleagues, you can teach everybody, and you can say that agile manifesto is the best things for everybody. You can just try to start yourself in Scrum Master role. So, and I think you already know about these principles, but let's speak a little bit also about Scrum assessment. So, as I said, on Scrum.org, you can find open assessments. There are 30 questions, and these 30 questions also can help you to teach Scrum, learn Scrum and understand where you have the gaps in your Scrum skills. For example, on the screen you have you can see some questions from this Scrum assessment. It is free Scrum assessment, and on the certification test you will have almost the same questions. So it's not difficult. It's not something rocket science. You can just teach something, then try to pass the free test and to have certificate. You need to pass mark of 85%. And if you understand that you can finish this free test on 100%, then you can try with the certification test. And also want to tell a little bit about how my testing background helped me in Scrum mastering. Of course, as I said before, I played role of test manager, I played role of testing team lead, and I know software development like life cycle, and I know all processes, and all my past projects were with Scrum methodology, and it helped me to understand from inside of the project how it works, how Scrum works, and I didn't need to teach it from the scratch. And also testing helped me to work with metrics, because you know that when you start some project and you have just first time watching some metrics, you don't understand what you can see here. But working with metrics, with QA metrics, helped me to understand also agile metrics on my projects. And also, as I said before, so I already knew Scrum process. I knew it from the projects, and yeah, it's helped me to not to spend a lot of time to learn Scrum. And maybe yes, that's it from my side about my career and some career opportunities. Hope you can start your career in management in future or switch to Scrum mastering. And now I can ask your questions, please, and I can answer for them. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation, Sergey. Let's take a look at the questions. So the first one is, how long does it take to learn Scrum from scratch?
So it depends on your background, and so I can just share some my experience. For example, so before I started contributing on my charity project as Scrum Master till the start on some production project on this Scrum Master role. For me, it was maybe half a year, because from every week I pass some trainings. I try to pass this free assessment on Scrum.org, and yeah, but it depends on your situation. Maybe you can just with your background pass interview on some production project, and that's it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to the next question. Is Scrum Master a busy job or not?
Last project I worked on safe methodology. I was Scrum Master in 3 teams. Of course, if you're Scrum Master only in one team, you can just spend maybe 2-3 hours a day for all Scrum ceremonies to just some deal with some issues of the team, and yeah, we will not so busy. But if you have 2-3 teams and you need to deal all issues with all these teams, yeah, it is very easy. It's not so busy. It is easy, and easy only in that way if you want to work with people. Because Scrum Mastering, it is about speaking. You will speak every day, every hour, and speak with big amount of people. So if you like it, you will not so busy, and everything will be easy for you. But if not, yeah, it's another thing.
And a follow-up question, from your opinion, is Scrum Master stressful?
From the start, yeah, it was very stressful for me because it was new, but I like everything new, and I like to teach. I like to learn something new, but when I started in my career in testing 9 years ago, testing was also stressful for me. But I think that when you start new role, first time is stressful, but after you understand everything, when you build some connection with customer, with teams, yeah, it is easy, it is interesting, and not so stressful.
Okay, I think that's it for the moment with the questions. Small reminder for our listeners, please feel free to write the questions down, and we can just say thank you, Sergey, for sharing your working experience, for giving an advice to our colleagues from Testing Pool. And I think that's it
Okay,
for
thank
today's
you.
conference. Yeah. Please feel free to say thank you to our speakers. You can send them badges via our Heroes portal. And let's see each other on the next conference, on next Tech Talks. And probably I will pass the word to Dolet. Please share your camera.